Hey everyone, Old School Pokemon here, back again with the Pokeflips podcast, joined by my usual co-host, KetchumAllCollectibles, Dan. Oh God, did we lose you? Oh
no. I was looking. Oh, hold on. I've got your voice in my ear now twice with the echo, but I was looking at the vertical. It's so weird how smushed together our faces are. I thought that if I hit that button, it might like change the formatting, but no, the formatting is just really weird on the vertical. I'm not a huge fan. I wish it would just put us over under and like have a little more width there, not just squeezed on our cheeks.
I don't know. That's so weird. You can't change it at all. I don't get why don't they give you the option to customize it at all?
It is really weird, but yeah, I guess we're gonna run with it. It is what it is. We've got nice to see you, Steve. What's up, Jen?
Like
how's
you
it
were
going,
hugging.
Good thing we've got the vertical going because Steve, I can see the little mobile thingy showing that Steve is on his phone. So nice to have you here. Glad we went vertical and mobile live. Yeah, horizontal gang checking in with Kiki here. But yeah, the vertical is rough. It we're way too close. I need to go this way more.
I'll just go this way.
But yeah, we're here. We are here in a new year. Because I was gonna say 2 weeks ago was actually still 2026. It was New Year's Day, and we were not live on New Year's Day. I don't believe. I think our last live was,
New Year's. We went live. I think we went live New Year's Eve. We went live New Year's Eve, didn't we?
Maybe. I can't remember. That sounds right though. I think we might have gone live.
Pretty sure we did because we were originally scheduled to do New Year's Day, but you had something going on that day.
Yeah, my in-laws. We usually do Christmas with the in-laws on New Year's Eve, but this year for whatever reason we did it on New Year's Day, I think. But anyways, yeah. As we always do, this is Pokeflips. We are going to be hanging out, answering all your questions for the next 2.5 hours or so. I did have a couple prompts in the title. Let's start with Lego. Lego I put in the title. I'm sure like 2 hours in, someone's going to come and ask like, hey, what about the whole Lego? Like we're going to get it 5 times afterwards. But let's start with a little conversation on Lego. And then maybe once a few more people get in here, we can talk about what we talked about pre-stream a little bit.
I'm excited. Oh, if you want to go ahead, you can.
Yeah. So I bought them all. I got to catch them all. It's in the name. I bought everything. I went and I bought everything on Pokemon Center, Limit 1. Hopefully they don't ban me for this. Hopefully they don't cancel my orders because of this. But I went and it was Limit 1 over on Lego.com as well. So I have had a Lego.com account for a while. I'm a big fan of Legos. So I maxed out my limit of 1 on both. I didn't go and bottom out or anything. I didn't go buy them in my wife's name and my dog's name and my parents' name. Like I just bought 2 sets. The intent for me is build 1 of each and keep 1 sealed of each. Not necessarily as an investment or whatever. It's just like I'm an addict to some extent. I love Pokemon and Lego, so it satisfies those collecting, hoarding tendencies. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm similar to you. I didn't buy 2 of each. I bought 1 of each though. I think I'm planning on just keeping them sealed for now. Maybe build 1 or 2 of them. I don't know. I think for now I'm just gonna keep them sealed though. Try and keep up with all the Lego releases and try and collect them all. But yeah, I was really excited when we got the announcement that Lego and Pokemon were going to collab. But seeing the first release, the Eevee, Pikachu, and then the big 3 sets, I was very underwhelmed. I'm not a huge fan of them. I think they could have done they could have done so much more, and I think they kind of dropped the ball on this one. The Eevee I think looks good. I like that one. The Pikachu looks kind of weird. And then the big 3, I don't like that one at all. So I was a little disappointed with the release, but Pokemon and Lego Still got my money for all 3 of them. So I guess that's that's what they want at the end of the day.
Yeah, I closed my eyes and I clicked buy, and then I didn't even know what it looked like. I hear all the, like, I've said this a million times before on my channel and on PokeFlips. People get so, like, emotional. People get so, I don't understand it. Beep boop, your human emotions. Like, everything just has to be the best or the worst, and this one fall into the worst territory. Oh, it's so terrible. It's disgusting. It's I don't know. It's Pikachu. When I envision like Pikachu Legos, to me, I'm not like, could it be better? Yes. Could it be worse? Yes, I guess. Like, it's kind of what I was expecting. It looks like Pikachu. It's Legos. You're not gonna get like this. I think some people just don't know Lego at all, so I think they're envisioning like this smooth, highly polished, like a perfectly Pikachu shaped Pikachu. It's Lego. It's building blocks. Like it's gonna be a little bit blocky. It's gonna be a little bit, but yeah, I don't. It's not that I necessarily disagree with it entirely. I just don't understand the negativity that I've seen. It's kind of falling in line of what my expectation was. But yeah, like I said, I bought 2 of each, and I think another interesting angle too. So like, you mentioned that you bought one to keep sealed. Is it more of an investment, or is it more of like checking a box? I collect Pokemon. I enjoy Lego. Like I just, it's an obligation. I have to do it, not necessarily thinking I'm going to make money.
Yeah. No, that's definitely it. That's definitely it. Where we've been waiting so long for a Lego release, I figured I had to get them. And oh, I completely lost what I was gonna say. But yeah, I figured I had to get them, and then I figured it'd be kind of like a cool display, because obviously they're gonna come out with more Lego sets with Pokemon, so might as well start with the original base set, and then work our way on up from there. Try and keep up with it, and try and get them all. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I don't foresee. Yeah, I'm not on Walrus's side there. I don't foresee them being some crazy investment. I didn't have that in mind. And it is interesting how long the pre-orders were up for. Pre-orders were up for days.
But they're back.
Oh, are they back? Because I heard that the big 3 set finally sold out, or they stopped doing pre-orders. I didn't realize they were back up.
I'm gonna double check, but I don't think they're back on Pokemon Center, though Pikachu and Eevee are there.
Yep.
Yeah, as I speak, the big 3 is unavailable, but Pikachu and Eevee are there on Pokemon Center. And then on Lego.com, I think the big 3 came back. I'm just verifying live. Yeah, big 3 is there for pre-order. So that was one angle that I wanted to say. One, I put Pokemage's comment here because, like, I generally agree. People will dislike the Lego sets until they're $2,000 sealed, then everyone will love them. But one thing I want to say is that, like, I don't think that's going to happen soon. Yes, you're going to have your scalpers. I think people are already listing things on eBay, and I think people heavily investing in Pokemon Lego, like, right out of the gate very quickly, I think they're going to get destroyed. I don't think this is going to be very expensive, very bulky, very, like, tedious to ship, all that stuff. I don't think this is a wise investment whatsoever, and I'm seeing mine as, like, it's a very well, I need to be careful how I say this because the business bought it. So the business bought it as a very mid to long term speculative play. It is also going to be a nice backdrop for my live streams, so thereby meeting the requirements necessary for being written off, bought through the business. But it is not like some Omega brand flip scalp play. I don't think. I think some people will end up getting kind of wrecked on that because, and I'm not super, like, up to date with Pokemon. I engaged with it a lot in my youth. I was not the one buying them. Santa was buying them for me, building them for me, whatever. I was getting them for birthdays and stuff like that. I definitely bought some sets, but, like, this is probably the first Lego set that I've bought for myself, and I'm gonna build it with my kids and stuff too. but this is the first Lego set I've bought for myself, like, ever. I guess barring gift cards 25 years ago. But definitely more consumer boy Dan than investor boy Dan, if I had to say.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. But yeah, no, I was like I obviously we knew Pokemon and Mega Bloks collabed for the longest time. I never really paid too much attention to those until recently with the Lego drop. But the Mega Block ones do look they do look so much better, which is wild because Mega Bloks are always the cheaper version of Lego. But I think for this initial release, the Mega Block kits are definitely better, and like the Pikachu being derpy, like you were saying, it's Lego, so you got to expect some of it. Look at the Bowser. Have you seen the Lego Bowser? That one looks so good, and it's a giant turtle. I think they could have done a better job. I think they definitely could have done a better job with Pikachu. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
But my son has like a Lego Bowser ship thing that I had seen, but no, I think the Lego Bowser looks fine. I think the Lego Pikachu looks fine. I don't know. I feel like I'm very
Lego Bowser is so good.
I don't get these crazy ups and down swings like you guys get. This question, it came from our mobile viewership, which gets like a lot more out there questions, but I think this is Fairly Odd Parents. Is this not? Did you used to watch Fairly Odd Parents?
That does sound like I love Fairly Odd Parents. That does sound like it.
Chip Skylark. I never would have gotten Chip Skylark, but it felt like when I read it, it felt like a Fairly Odd Parents thing. I did cheat. I googled it to get the name, but yeah, that like wasn't a boy band guy. It was just one guy, but he was that like singing sensation. My Shiny Teeth and Me. That question comes out of nowhere, but yeah, we take all questions. That's funny. Memory unlocked. But yeah, Lego, like, I'm not gonna buy every Lego set that comes out ever.
No.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that right up front because like they are probably gonna make a lot of them, and it's a lot of money. Like and one thing I wanted to bring up too is what's your take on the whole 18 plus F them kids? I know Pokey was like really he was really going into like the memes on that one. They're being labeled as like for adult collectors, 18 plus written right on the box. I actually have the Mighty Bowser pulled up. He's 18 plus as well. So
yeah. I think it makes sense for the first release. I think it's cool. Pokemon's catering to like our generation with the original. Yes, doesn't that look so good?
These look fine too.
No, it's terrible.
But yeah, unavailable here, available here for pre-order.
But yeah, I think it's cool that Pokemon's kicking the kids to the side and saying let's do something for the OG fans of Pokemon. And I think it makes sense because it's like the 30th anniversary. Kids weren't around for the beginning base set days. So I think it's cool that Pokemon did that.
And it's 6,000 pieces. Again, I don't understand why it's such a big talking point, and I'm part of the problem because I'm bringing up that talking point right now. But like I think people are just getting so emotional and like fired up over the fact that they labeled them for 18 plus. I don't know. I don't think it bears that much conversation around it as I have more conversation around it. But like it's $650. It's 6,800 pieces. I think if they labeled it like 8 plus, you'd be hearing, oh, Pokemon thinks, Lego thinks that 8-year-olds have $650 in their piggy banks. Like, I think no matter what they did on that, they would be like having somebody going rabble, rabble, rabble because people like to rabble, rabble, rabble. That's my whole take on like the 18 plus for adults only. they have some sets that are 18 plus, some sets that are not. Like it's not very deep. It's not a big deal. I don't think my kids will engage with me on the build of these sets. I promise. It's not like illegal for them to do that. They play some board games that they're a little bit young for. But yeah, I thought that was like silly. And I listened to too much PokeTube content, so that's part of it. But I thought it was silly, like how much was made of that whole thing.
Yeah, no, that whole thing is. Yeah, I did not understand that whole portion of it.
And my biggest takeaway from like the whole Lego release is like I think a lot of most of the negativity is just coming from people that like don't really know Lego. And I say this as someone who like
Yes,
hasn't been heavily
yes.
engaged in 20 years because like one, I truly think like Lego and you're complaining about Pikachu. I'm not saying your complaints are invalid, but like I think the majority of people complaining about it had just an unrealistic expectation of what it would look like because they've never engaged with Legos whatsoever. Like it's building blocks. It's going to be inherently a little bit blocky and whatever. And then the other side is like people saying that it's expensive. Like we
Mhm.
knew that it was almost 7,000 pieces. If you had asked me a month ago, and I don't think anyone did, but if you had asked me, hey Dan, they announced the set as 6,838 pieces, I would have guessed the price would be $800. Like I'm not memeing here. This is actually true. I think this is too cheap, given how degenerate we are in the Pokemon space. Given like most most Lego sets cost about 10 cents a brick. 10 cents a
Yep.
brick would be $690. This is $650, and it's a license. Not only is it licensed, like we in the PokeTube space, we can't stop saying it is the #1 grossing media franchise of all time. So not only is it licensed, it is the best license on the planet. So it's like, how is this not 12 cents, 13 cents a brick, 15 cents a brick? Like, I would not have been shocked if this were like $800 to $1,000, and it's only $650. And so, sure, a lot of them are probably smaller pieces and whatever, but like, look at a lot of Star Wars sets, another license that is a lot lower tier than Pokemon. A lot of those are 11, 12, 13 cents a piece. And this is 8 cents a piece. No, this is like 9 cents a piece. But
Yeah.
under 10 cents a piece is like a pretty common threshold. So people that are saying that it's so expensive, it's like it's actually relatively cheap for what it is. And then people saying like about, oh, it's so like ugly, and it's Lego. It's not like a 3D printed sculpture of these things that's supposed to like 1-to-1 1/64 scale represent the Pokemon in their true form or whatever. It's Lego.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that whole price thing has been coming up a bunch in the live streams. People saying that it is too expensive, and I agree with you. It is a lot of money to spend on a Lego kit, but I didn't think it was that I didn't think it was too expensive for how many pieces that you're actually getting.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I'll pull it up here in a second. I'm pulling up the Dexerto article here. But we always parrot this highest grossing media franchise of all time. People will just endlessly say that. But one thing that people don't realize, it might be super blurry, but I'm going to try. One thing that people don't realize, let me get it reshared, is that like cards are our main thing. Cards are the main thing. I know it's super blurry. I couldn't find a higher res one. But Pokemon, at the time that this was made, I think this is a few years old, $92 billion in revenue. That yellow is merchandise. That yellow is not trading cards. The vast majority of Pokemon's like total GMV, their total like gross sales is like merchandise. It's plushies, it's collaborations with Lego. It's like this trading card world that we live in is that little orange spot right there. Like at the time that this was made, like look at the percentages of that, how small it is relative. So these $650 Lego sets, they live in this yellow. They live where like most of the work gets done, adding to that highest grossing media franchise of all time. So Pokemon is just trying to keep that true, that thing that we're always saying.
I wish we would get an updated version of that. I wonder first off, when did that come out? And then what would it look like now compared to then? It'd be interesting to see like
this was
how much.
2019. So that was
So
6 years old.
Trading cards have gotten way bigger since then.
Proportionally, though, trading cards has grown a lot, but wouldn't plushes have seen a similar boom and growth? Wouldn't like the random stuff they saw in Pokemon Center, especially like think of when they were giving out the gray felt hats. Think of when they were giving out the special delivery Charizards. When they were giving out those things, people were buying art. People were buying canvases to get the free Charizard promo. So like that Charizard promo. Yes, its secondary market value now is worth a lot of money, but as far as like on their chart there, how much money that special delivery Charizard was worth to them, it was a $50 sale of merchandise with a tack on of a free promo. Maybe they allocate some amount towards that. I don't know, but like that's one thing that we have to remember. They're not selling Destined Rivals for $400. They're selling Destined Rivals to Distro for like 70 or 80 or whatever, and then Distro's selling it for 100, and then we're selling it for 400. So they're not like capitalizing fully to the same extent that we are on the secondary market value stuff.
But then at the same time, you also 2019 we were ordering Heart Gold Soul Silver product through Distro, where today you can't even get what's that came out last? Phantasmal. So yeah. I don't know. That would be interesting to see because it's always that same graph that I see when you talk about it. I've never seen another one.
Yeah, I don't think they've refreshed it in a while. I feel like I did see. I think Wikipedia has a living one, but it's just not that same format. Like it's not. Someone needs to make it pretty, and I'm not the guy to do that. Let me see if right here I should be able to pull it up. Yes, so the current number at the time that showed 92 billion. It currently shows, when does it say that this is updated? Let me share it again. I don't know why I keep taking it out of the backstage. So here are the highest grossing media franchises of all time, and here's like the current. Well, current, I say. I don't know what year this is with respect to, but 115 billion is what they're saying now. And this says right here, the Pokemon Company no longer mentions how much the franchise has earned on their website as of May 2019.
Oh.
So I don't know if that's taking the core
updated numbers.
Maybe this is taking the core 92 billion mentioned in 2019 and adding some estimated amount. Yeah, because like here, Pokemon retail sales, it is showing numbers. It's showing their sources. The top global licensors report. I don't know where those guys get their information, but they somehow have information from 2020 onward, even though Pokemon doesn't report it.
I love how there's a category for jet. Jet aircraft sales.
Wait, where is that? Oh, right there. Yeah, that is the big Pikachu. Yeah, like Nippon Airlines or something. Those Japanese planes with the Pikachu on them. Yeah, right there. It just showed the picture. That is funny. But yeah, I think it's interesting to note that like cards are kind of everything to us, but the workhorse of the franchise is all this stuff behind us.
Yeah,
I think. I don't think your Squirtle Squad though is legit though. I don't think any money went to Pokemon on those.
It was the first.
Wait, those are real?
Jazzware and Pokemon collaboration that they did at Comic-Con.
Oh man, actually, I feel the need. You mentioned Jazzwares. My dog, I have a hound. She's a mutt. She destroys toys. It's in like her DNA to like. She's a hound. She sniffs out the prey and she like whatever. It's in her DNA to like when there's a squeaker inside a toy. She will have the squeaker outside of the toy within 2 minutes every time. One exception. I think last year, my wife was at PetSmart and she saw a Pokeball toy, squeaky toy, and she wasn't going to buy it because she knows what our dog does with the squeaky toys. She always dissects them and takes the squeaker out. My dog's had this Pokeball toy for a year, and she's like, she plays rough with it. She'll throw it around, but she won't intentionally like break it. It's her favorite toy ever. I always tell the kids she's like a Pokemon master, and when she's whipping it around and it throws and like, oh, she caught you. She just threw the ball at you and she caught you. I want more. Someday I'm worried that like she will accidentally break it. She's clearly not trying to, but they were sold a year ago in PetSmart stores around me. And I Googled it. I found Reddit threads. I looked on eBay. I looked on Amazon. Like, if you're out there and you have one, scalp me. Shoot me a DM. Shoot me an email. Like, they were $10 MSRP. I would buy more for $30 a piece, $40 a piece. Like, they had a Master Ball. They had an Ultra Ball. I found pictures of the displays, but I can't find anyone selling them anywhere. And I'm worried that, like, I'm not going to be able to get more. But I want one of every one. I want someone to scalp me on the official Jazzwares 7-inch dog squeaky toy, Pokeball, Master Ball, Ultra Ball, all that good stuff. Great ball. So if someone's out there, let me know. I will buy them from you. When you mentioned Jazzwares, that just hit in my head because I checked Jazzwares website. I was searching Jazzwares. I was searching eBay everywhere, and I couldn't find it. But anyways, I hope I'm able to find more of those someday. But yeah, so any other angles on Lego Pokemon? One more question I had for you. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but biggest set you've ever built? I've never built anything anywhere near 7,000 pieces. I think yours is the Titanic, right?
Yeah, that's around there. How
long did that take you?
I still haven't finished it.
Really?
I've got it's 2/3. So like they break it into three sets almost. And so I finished 2/3, and then I just stopped and I never finished it. I do want to. I was thinking about that the other day. I do want to. That's going to be my one of my goals for this year is to finish building that. But that one's 9,000 pieces.
Holy! Like, how many hours do you have into it so far? Would you say?
Oh, probably 10, 15.
I was looking up on Reddit and different places, like how many pieces per hour you would be able to build in general. I saw some people talking about the Titanic taking them like 40 hours to build. Maybe they're way more meticulous. Maybe they're like very distracted during it. Maybe they're doing it with their kids. And like if I build with my kids and if I just manage them and make sure that they're building everything correctly and watch them build it, that would probably take 100 hours. They're probably not building it more than a piece a minute for certain things. A piece a minute would be, well, no, yeah, that'd be 100 hours. That'd be about 100 hours. 100 hours is probably maybe 2 pieces a minute. But by the time you like open up the bags, by the time you find the piece and then get where it goes and then you verify that it's in the right spot, like,
yeah,
what's reasonable? I don't even know. Is it like 5-10 pieces a minute? If you're doing 10 pieces a minute, that's 600 pieces an hour. That's going to take you 10 hours. And I think 10 pieces a minute is like cooking. I think you're really moving along.
That's really fast.
Like if you're finding it, putting it where it goes, and 10 pieces a minute would be like breakneck speed. I don't think that's even feasible for like an experienced adult. But 5 pieces a minute, maybe. I don't even know what's reasonable. But
5 pieces, that sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah, 6 pieces a minute, a piece every 10 seconds. You're talking 1,000 minutes. You're talking 16 hours. That is. I'm very interested to see like how long of a project it is, and at some points of it, I will definitely let my kids. You find the piece, you put it where it goes. I'll just verify. It's probably going to be a 40-hour project for me and my family to do the 4 sets, which I'm looking forward to. Like I'm excited. Put a Pokemon movie in the background. Gloomy, dreary day where it's raining outside or it's yucky outside, and we're just inside watching movies or whatever the whole day, building a Lego set. I'm really looking forward to those days.
There we go.
15 minutes behind. Mega Bloks Pikachu looks like Lego, and the Pikachu looks good, but the Lego Pikachu is horrible.
Exactly.
Sleeve No Card Behind wants to know, are either of you boys coming to Collectopia next month? Are you going to that?
I don't even know what that is.
I think it's the one that I don't know if you watched the Poke SMP or SMP podcast, whatever it's called, with Jesse, J-Peng, and Poke-san.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's being put on by Collector. It has the whole like Poke Hall of Fame thing. But
Oh, that one. No, I'm not going to that.
the issue is it's in Canada, which is part of the issue. It's in the middle of the winter, but it's also like Super Bowl Sunday, which on top of Super Bowl Sunday being Super Bowl Sunday, which I always enjoy watching, and I always host like a little party for that. My son's Pinewood Derby. My son is in Cub Scouts, and Pinewood Derby is in the morning of Super Bowl Sunday. So like it's entirely a non-starter for me. I cannot make Collectopia, given that it's more importantly than Super Bowl Sunday, which is important. I would choose Super Bowl Sunday over Collectopia. Nothing against Collectopia, but then the Pinewood Derby I would choose over the Super Bowl too. So it is my son's Super Bowl of Cub Scout car racing.
But
yeah,
go if there was nothing going on? Go to Canada in the middle of the winter?
I think it's only
no.
Being like if it was like in July in Canada, like I think it's only like an hour across the border. It's probably only a 4 or 5 hour drive from me. I probably would go. Like if this were a good timing, I probably would go. But the timing could not be more horrific. Like one, I can't plan for the weather. I live in upstate New York. Like February 9th or whatever it is, 8th, whatever the Super Bowl is, that can be brutal weather. And it's like I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl at home. And I mean, if the weather's bad enough, the Pinewood Derby will get canceled. But they're definitely not gonna be canceling the Super Bowl. But yeah, if it was at a different time, there's a shot that I would go, but it's just not possible. But yeah, someday maybe. Definitely like to meet new people out and about at the conventions. Let's pivot into that. What is your collection slate looking like this year? I think we wrapped up the whole Lego thing, unless you had anything else on Lego to talk about.
No, I think we covered Lego. What do you mean? Like convention?
What conventions are you going to? Any card parties? Any Pokemon? Any
I was so confused.
Collecticons? Yeah, I probably didn't do the pivot very cleanly.
So my schedule is I want to do a bunch of local shows around here. So I've signed up for I think I did February. I did all of February. No, the end of January and then all of February. We're basically doing a show every other week or every couple weeks at least. So I want to keep up with the local shows, but then more on like the national scale. Obviously, both Chicago's. I'm gonna set up and have a table there. There's one in what is it? Not Wisconsin, but the next state. Minnesota. I think it's Minnesota. I'm gonna go to that one because that one's a drive, and then Charlotte, obviously. And then probably, I was definite. I've kind of dialed it back to probably, but probably the Vegas one as well.
Vegas is tough. I just posted in Discord earlier. I play RuneScape. I watch a lot of RuneScape content. My favorite creator solo mission. It's a thing. It's basically like a creator tournament. It's called Deadman All Stars. But it's taking place like in person in the United States. RuneScape is like it's a UK based game, so a lot of the stuff happens over there. But they're bringing a convention to Chicago. It is. I thought the date sounded familiar. It is happening Father's Day weekend. So again, like going back to Collectopia, Collectopia would be a cool thing to go to. It's relatively close to me. I could see myself going to it. But the issue is it hits with the Pinewood Derby most importantly, and then it hits with the Super Bowl also. On the weekend of Father's Day, I am a father and I have a father who has a father. So there's like 4 generations who I like to get together on Father's Day when possible. So that's high up there. I have a Cub Scout camping trip, which is higher up there because I'm going to be doing that with my son. And then there's like Collecticon Vegas. Collecticon meets Vegas. We've talked about it. Like someday they should go to Vegas. Well, they finally did, and they put it on Father's Day weekend. I would love to go. I just can't go. Any other time, I would try to make it a point to go. Same thing with the RuneScape Deadman Mode finals. It is Father's Day weekend in Chicago, so it's like I'm going to be in Pennsylvania. I would love to be in Chicago. Love to be in Vegas. I would love to be in Chicago. If those events were timed other times, I would potentially make it a point to go. But yeah, it just It can't happen. So my personal slate for travel, I don't think the card parties. I'm glad that I did card party last year because like this year when they announced the dates, like none of those really worked that well for me. I think one of them falls on a wedding, and then I think one of them is like Florida in May or something, which I just don't enjoy. And then I think I forget what all the conflicts are, but I just don't think any line up well. So Charlotte CollectiCon, as you said, is definitely going to happen. I think I'm going to make one of the Chicagos happen. I think I'm going to make one of the New Jerseys happen because those ones are just easy. Chicago's an easy flight. You're there. Ponga's there. I shouldn't have started naming names. A lot of great people are there. I can't name them all. Sorry, I'm gonna stop with Nick and Ponga, but there are many more. And then I really want to make in Fanatics Fest is one that I've never been to that I want to make happen. Front Row Card Show, that's more like the West Coast. Someday I want to get there. I haven't looked at their schedule yet. I don't know if that's one that I can do this year or not. But yeah, I'd like to like check off another couple things, one of them being Fanatics Fest. So that's my plan for the year. And then I mentioned it, I think, last episode, but PokeCon at the New York State Fairgrounds, which is 40 minutes away from me in mid-April. I'm looking forward to that in 3 months.
Is that happening? Do you have any updates on that? I haven't gotten my invite. I know. I don't know if I'm invited.
I'm gonna put together more information. I'm gonna formalize it more, and I'm gonna say like, hey guys, let me know head count. Like if you want to come earlier, a little bit of degeneracy happening earlier in the week at a couple suites, maybe at the Turning Stone Casino, very close to me. And then the weekend somewhere, an Airbnb or a hotel or whatever out closer to the New York State Fairgrounds. But that is definitely happening. It's just a question. It's not an if, it's just a question of to what extent, how many people are coming, and how many Airbnbs or suites or how much money we're losing at the blackjack tables is the question.
Winning at the
blackjack. Winning. Winning I meant. No, I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, it's what a great problem to have that we have all these events that like so awesome. So awesome to like, it's like you don't have to wait months for events to happen. It's like, hey, this weekend, which event do I want to go to? There's like 3 every weekend, basically somewhere in the country that are, and then add on locals to that. Like I'm not in a very like major city or anything. And that like local event that I went to, they do like 15 in a year. So it's like more than one a month. There's something happening in Syracuse, and there's like a whole different thing in Albany that's only an hour and a half the other way. So it's like if I wanted to, I could probably go every weekend within a 2-hour drive to a decent, like,
yeah,
very small compared to Collecticon, but like a decent sized show, 100+ tables. Crazy.
Yeah, no, I think here there's I think you could go at this point. You could go to a show every single weekend, and all like you said, they're all decent shows. Some better than others, but you could go to a show every single weekend at this point now, which is wild. I don't know if I just didn't know about it when I first moved here, which could very well be the case. But I think there has been a lot more shows popping up more recently. Because like when I first moved here, there was maybe 1 or 2 a month that I knew about. But now there's so many. You got to decide. Okay, not only do I want to go to a show this weekend, but which show do I want to go to this weekend? It's wild.
And I remember we've been around for a while now. We are going on our 5-year anniversary in the next couple of months. I remember the years of Collecticons where there's like 6 of them, and I remember I was more towards the side of like more is better. And I understood the sentiment. I didn't agree with it, but I understood the sentiment of like, no, I kind of want them to stay more concentrated so that when I decide to go to a Collecticon, it's more like a la Denver 2022 or whatever year it was. Like when there's 6 of them, you're more likely to run into more people at all of them, right? When there's 24 of them in a year, and now there's 5 different show series that are national, it's just more diluted. But like I think that's better for the hobby overall. But I did understand the selfish sentiment towards like, no, I want it to be more of an event. but I'm glad. And I said this 3-4 years ago. I'm glad we got to where it's like you can go to any of them at any time, and sure, you're probably going to see less people because it's just going to be spread out amongst a lot more. But like when there's 6, and when one hits the Super Bowl, and when one hits my Cub Scouts trip, and one hits and one hits a wedding, it's like I can't make half of them because of like personal obligations. Like I'd much rather the current reality that we're in, where it's literally just every weekend, and coordinate with your friend groups and whatever, and go and meet new people too. It's like maybe you're not going to have 72 people that you know personally, but like you'll have 5, and then maybe you'll meet 60 new people that you never like. And I need to be better about that too. I shout out to all the homies, but there's definitely times where I go to an event and it's like I cross paths and meet and a dozen or a couple dozen new people, but I say hi to them, and then it's like I go and I hang out with old school Pokemon at the casino again, like I do for so many of them. I need to be a little bit better about like, hey, putting myself out there, going out in like different settings in amongst different people from time to time at least.
But the trouble is, we only go to how often do we see each other? 4 times a year. So like you want to hang out with the people that you talk to the most. And obviously you adore me, so you can't spend time with me. But no, it's tough time, because you're only there for a few days. There's so much going on. It does make it tough. It does make it tough. And there's just so many people there too at the same time.
And Sleeve No Card Behind mentions that Collectopia is the first event within driving distance for me, I think, ever. That's what I love about there being 24 Collecticons. Like there are certain people that live in Vegas that just, whether finances or whatever the reason may be, like they're probably just never really going to leave Vegas. It's great that Collecticon came to them. It's great that Collecticon is going to Minnesota, wherever, the one that you mentioned that you're adding on. It's great that they went to Cleveland. Like it's great that this stuff is being spread to more people. And then I think like the local scenes are popping up a lot more too. But and I don't know. I know Jesse is from Canada, somewhere in that vicinity, I'd imagine. I don't know if Collectopia, and maybe Sleeve No Card Behind can answer, maybe not. Is that going to be like, is it going to be Super Bowl weekend every year? Is it always going to be in Canada in February? Like hopefully that will maybe expand and branch out, and maybe that'll be something that I can cross paths with someday. But I guess selfishly, sometimes you hope that it just, hey, that works for me, so I want it to stay there forever. That's always a fair take too. But no, what's your take on that? I actually don't watch all of Rusty's videos, but I watched one where kind of like caught me off guard. I didn't realize there was so much negativity going on. I was aware of Collectopia happening. I was aware of like the Pokemon TCG Hall of Fame. I didn't realize there was that much negativity around it, like as far as Gary going into it and the way that he like pulled the packs out of the box. And listening to Rusty's video kind of put me down like a little bit of a rabbit hole. What's your take on all the like, one, the TCG Hall of Fame's existence, and what's your take on like the inductees, I guess?
I think it's solid. I think it's I don't know. I think it's I don't necessarily put any weight onto the people who are getting inducted. But I think it's a neat concept to have. So far I agree. Like obviously Rusty, Gary, both of them should 100% be in there. So I think it's fine, but I don't really care about it at the same time.
I'm going to try to.
The whole thing with Gary getting inducted, and then the video that popped up, and then it getting kind of resurfaced when Gary got inducted into that. I don't like that. But there's really nothing you can do about it. People are gonna be like that on the internet. You just gotta kind of ignore it, get over it. But yeah, it's definitely not right.
And I guess spoilers, but if you can't tell, That is Mr. Gemmint Pokemon. That is Mr. SM Pratt. If you follow either of them closely, I think I know SM Pratt is just behind the paywall on the Patreon. I'm in there. I think he's talked about it a couple times already. Gemmint Pokemon has talked about it, I believe, on his relatively inconsistent podcast that he does with Tetra Ninja. Why is the name escaping me right now?
Nick.
No, I knew Tetra's name was Nick, but what's their podcast name? Next Gen TCG. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's like I've never been one to watch like the Golden Globes or the Emmys or like it's something I'll never be in, and it's something that like I don't think I think I know the hobby enough and I know the people enough that I can fully stand by Rusty and Gary being there. I think it's kind of silly how many people don't know Gary's history in the hobby and that whole video turning into what it did, like the hate spread around that. People characterizing him as, oh, he's a rip and shipper that owns a bunch of these that was trying to destroy the card's value so that they couldn't be like that whole thing was just crazy to me. But yeah, as far as the 4 individuals I really know from here, and I guess I've met Dubsy a couple times and I know him fairly well and I know what he has fairly well. So the 5 people that I know enough to say, I think they're very solid selections. I think guys like Gary and Rusty, Zach and Scott, especially, just the 12 years that I've been in the hobby, they all predated me. And they were the people that I watched like on the come up. I was watching their channels. I was learning things from them. I was learning how not to submit cards to PSA from Gemmint Pokemon himself with his little pull tabs. but yeah, like it's like I've seen some negative now that Rusty sent me down the rabbit hole. People like it's the whole corporate, I guess it's sponsored by Collector, and some people don't like that. Bringing money, it's like bringing money into this whole, like the whole thing has money everywhere in it, like PSA and the selling platforms and all the grading companies. And I think there's just a lot of weird takes around it. I think it seems like I'm not going to be there. This is someone who I'm not like, I'm not trying to brown nose with them. I'm never going to be eligible for the TCG Collector Hall of Fame, whatever. I nowhere near the history or collection level to go with that. So this is not me just sucking up to them, but I think it's an interesting idea. I think it's kind of fun. And for people to like be outside and like poo-pooing on it, as Jake would say, yucking people's yums, it's just really weird. I don't get it. I don't understand the hate and all that.
No.
I think again, I listen to the Poke SMP podcast regularly. They're another one that I enjoy, but they're fairly inconsistent. Not 5 years of every other week like Nick and myself. But they mentioned that like the first one's big, like, and it makes sense. Like it is a TCG Hall of Fame being created for a 30-year-old hobby. So they have like a little bit of catch. It's like, I don't know the history of the NFL Hall of Fame. I don't know who was the initial class for the NFL Hall of Fame, but presumably it happened before Super Bowl 30, right? Like if they had the NFL Hall of Fame launched at Super Bowl 30, it would probably have been a large class. So I think they're catching up with a large class. I don't think they're going to do 10 every year because they don't have to catch up every year. I don't think they've put a fixed number on it. I don't know if it's going to be 2 or 5, or maybe some years there won't be any if no one, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It feels reasonable for 10 people. And that's where I've mentioned it before too, is like some of the people, the internet in general is just filled with too much of this. People putting out negativity for the sake of negativity. It's like if it's not for you, what did your parents say 30 years ago? If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. I think more people need to live by that golden rule. Whether it's the anonymity of the internet or whether it's just society has lost a lot of like whatever you would call it. It's just weird how people feel the need to like, hey, there's people over here enjoying this thing, having fun. Well, I'm going to go over, I'm going to take the ball. I'm putting myself 30 years ago on the playground. We used to play kickball on the playground. We used to like just kick a ball back and forth, whatever. The bullies, the dummies, the bad kids would come, they'd steal your ball and they'd kick it on the roof of the school. It's like, what is wrong with some people? Like, I see, and honestly, some names, some faces come to mind. Disproportionately speaking, most of those people are not doing as well 30 years later, not surprisingly. But it's like, why do things like that? It's crazy. But yeah. Hold my beer, starting TCG Scalper Hall of Fame, first entry CetchumAllCollectibles. Oh man. Real question is, why is Nick not in the Hall of Fame? They undervalue.
Wondering. I was anxiously awaiting a DM with my invite, but I haven't got one yet.
They're drastically undervaluing No Damage Ninetales and Full Squad plushies. Let's see.
But yeah, no, people. I hate people sometimes. Even like in the live streams, you'll get people that come in. Oh, I can't stand this guy's voice. It's like, then leave. You don't have to be here.
It's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're being forced against your will to listen to my eBay live stream. Like, it's like, don't you have something that can bring positivity towards you, or you can bring positivity towards? The sad answer to that is like largely no. What does Pat Flynn say? Hurt people. A lot of times it's just people, and that does kind of suck. But it's like, they could do a lot to help their own situation if they just like, they must have interests and hobbies of some kind, and maybe that's even Pokemon. But like, just start putting out positivity and more will come to you. It's like, hurt people. Well, they're hurt to begin with because they're a-holes and they hurt people, so then they get hurt themselves because they have no friends and family and loved ones or whatever. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, I guess, to some extent, or it's a vicious cycle, maybe more apt description to some extent. Yeah. Last week we hear from the coworker that he's been ranting about not being in the Hall of Fame. Now we hear the true story. This is a sign that we're booming, though. Anytime Gary's being trashed on, we know we are booming hard. So that indicator just went off.
I didn't think of that, but yeah, that is true. That is true.
We didn't get it in the form of a Frosted Caribou long video, 50-minute video or whatever, breaking down the hobby, but we got it in the form of multi-million view TikToks and Reddits and Reels and whatever. We're getting older, the dittoologist. I swear the past few Poke Flips have turned into what is wrong with people nowadays. Back in my day, people had some decency. Back in my day, yelling at the cloud. I need to get a skylight so I can yell at the clouds.
Now, is dittoologist, is that a different person than Ditto Faction, or are there two Ditto lovers in the chat, or
that's two different people? Yes. It is tough with how many names are similar, but yes.
Like Ditto, what is with him? He's a blob. He's a big blobber dude.
Yeah, but you know how your parents told you like you can be anything you want to be when you grow up? Ditto literally can. Ditto is the embodiment of that. Ditto can transform into any Pokemon, right?
It's true. That's true.
There's tons of them out there. At least two. We can confidently say that there are at least two. So I have been, as always, I'll mention again, we're live until probably about 4:00 Eastern. We're going to be live for another almost 2 hours. So if you have questions, feel free to leave them in chat. I do have a backlog of several starred. I just wanted to prompt that again before I went into more comments. I've seen a lot of questions about Logan Paul. So we're going to go into the Logan Paul segment. Maybe I'll pull up the golden auction block. We can talk about that some. I need to be better about putting things on screen more. I'm trying to do that today consciously. New year, new us.
Okay, we can do that.
What were you going to say? But I guess
I wanted to do the Grimer thing before. I don't know if he's still in here. He might have left, so we can wait. Grimer, if you're in here, let me know.
We'll do that. We'll do that segment first. So we'll do
he's in here first.
Grimer,
if he's not in here, we can hold on to that one.
If Grimer's not in here, someone ping him on Discord. Tell him we need him because we're gonna settle this vicious KetchumAllCollectibles, old school Pokemon eBay Live rivalry. We're gonna have it out here and now. 2 will enter and only 1 will exit. Victorious. He might not be here anymore.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
This is actually hilarious. The juxtaposition of that. Why do people gotta hate Nick? Also, 5 minutes later, why do people like Ditto so much? So Nick is like, why do people yuck yums? And then Nick just takes a dump on Ditto lovers. That's hilarious. How's it going, DJ's Poke Center? Nice to see you in here. But yeah, it seems like Grammar's not in here, so maybe we'll hash that out a little bit later.
We can do Logan Paul first. That's fine.
If he doesn't hop back in, I'll ping him. But so Krabby's card said like 5 minutes into the thing. So Logan Paul, LOL. We go into boom 400% or only 300% in 2026. And then I had another Logan Paul themed question. UAP said, question, how do you feel about Logan revealing that he has investments in the company and close relations inside PSA? And then I thought there was one more. Maybe that's all. But while you start answering that, I didn't hear about that either. But while you're answering that, I guess I will put this on the stage. Oh, I should actually let me log out of my golden because I may or may not be winning.
Oh, are you bidding on a few things?
I don't want to reveal my hand. I do you follow Pokemon TMFT on Instagram?
I have no idea who that is now.
The Cheetozard owner. Very.
I do follow him. Yes.
I don't know him personally, but one thing he must have a lot of money. I don't know his background. I don't know whatever, but he must have a lot of money because he bought the Cheetozard. He posts a lot about that. I saw that him and then one other rich person on Instagram. I forget who it was, but they were publicly posting. Like I think it was actually Ken Lee. I think it was Ken Lee posting that he had the high bid on the Illustrator when it was like 3 million. And then TMFT posted that he had the high bid when it was like 4 million. I don't want to dox myself. I don't want to show that I'm the current high bidder at $6 million. So I'm just going to log out of my golden first. No, but I actually do have bids placed in the block. I'm going to be bidding heavily on certain things. There's definitely some things catching my eye. But yeah, go on about your thoughts about and tie it all together. Logan re-entering. There's a box break coming. The packs are actually live on Golden right now for Pokemon Day. There's the big block that I'm going to be scrolling through on Golden coming up. And then just like the general, is Logan going to cause a new boom? Or is he already causing a new boom?
I think he's already causing it. But yeah, no, I don't know what to think. I don't understand the whole controversy behind the Illustrator and Liquid Marketplace and all that stuff. I don't know what's going on there. So I don't know what to think in that aspect of it. But you really can't deny that I'm not a huge fan of him just from like seeing videos and stuff. But you really can't deny of how of a genius marketing person both him and Golden are. Because the amount of publicity that this card is getting already is just absolutely absurd. And how the pricing of it is wild already for how long it has left still. I was not expecting it to go this high this soon. So it'll be interesting to watch. But yeah, the whole marketing behind this is absolutely absurd. Which is good on them. But I don't aside from that, I don't really have any crazy thoughts on Logan Paul in general.
One thing, I know he has a spotted past. I think he's done some stupid things. I think a lot of people have done stupid things. Just not everyone was living on YouTube broadcast to the entire world. So I don't have any crazy opinions on the individual. But I think this card has a decent chance. And if you want to tie in, there's so many angles I could go with this. If you want to tie in the whole Kalshi poly market, I think Rattle's made a few videos about the fact that there are bets on Polymarket and Kalshi where you can bet on it going over 10 million. in the odds, at least as of a week ago, maybe the odds are higher now. The odds as of a week ago, you could have like bet $2 million on it going over 10 million and won like 4 million. So basically you could have like subsidized your own cost of buying the Illustrator if you were to ultimately end up buying it for more than X amount of money. And there was like 3 million, 5 million, 7 million, 10 million, whatever the numbers were. So I think the whole angle with like futures markets is just obscene in that front.
Yeah, that whole aspect of it is crazy.
That's insane. But like the whole Mr. Wonderful, he's in with that Shine guy who, again, like I don't know anything personally about that Shine guy. All I know is he's got a lot of money. Kevin O'Leary's got a lot of money. This has a chance of going for like the highest, not of any Pokemon card. It's already there, assuming it gets paid. It's already at $6 million or whatever. But this has the chance of going and be like with buyer's premium, it's already above 6 million. So for people who don't know, this is 5.1 million plus 22% buyer's premium. So the card is already above 6 million. And I think the highest card ever was like 12 million. So if this gets a bid to 10 with buyer's premium, it's at like 12.2. I think that's higher than like the last Topps Mantle that sold, the last T206 that sold, the last Logo Man, Bryant, Jordan, James, whatever.
That would be insane.
Yes,
if the Illustrator was the most valuable card that's ever sold.
And obviously, like I think there are estimates out there, like, and I'm not, I don't know exactly, but like I think there's 2 Gretzky PSA 10s, none of which have sold in years. I think there's estimates for that being very high. There's so many X amount of PSA 10 mantles, and the estimate is X amount high. I think there are certain cards that are evaluated at 20 million, 50 million that probably would be worth more. But if this thing sells for the single highest sale to date of any trading card, we could be in for it. Because what will happen, what is already happening to some extent with Logan Paul, there will be CNN articles, there will be Fox News articles. You will turn on the nightly news at home. Not that any of us do that probably, but people will turn the nightly news on at home and they will hear about this 10, 12, $15 million Pokemon card. And one thing that I always like talk about too, that's always kind of funny, people with no ability to buy this card, myself included, have way too much confidence in what the value of the card will go for. If you had asked me a month ago, I heard a couple months ago that this was going up to auction to start the year. I kind of knew early this was coming. I don't have the money to play in that. That insider info was spread around a fair bit. I think there were a lot of people buying lower grade Illustrators and all that aside. But if you would ask me, like, Dan, what do you think it's going to go for? I would have said lowest, maybe a 10% chance it goes for 2 to 3 million. I couldn't really see in this market it going for lower than that. Hindsight now, obviously it's going to go for higher than that. Well, because the bid's higher. But I would say, and today, now seeing the bid at 5.1, I think there's a 40-50% chance this thing does 10 plus. I think there's a 30-40% chance this is the highest singular trading card sale of all time. So put on your moon boots, as Squeaks used to say. Fuel up the rocket. Like, if this does 12-15 million, which I think there's almost a coin flip's chance it could. But some people will say so confidently, no way it's going for what he paid for it. Yes, it's definitely going to double. Like, we don't know. We don't have that kind of money. All it takes is 2 people with way too much money to click a button, and it's like it could go for 15. Who cares? It's all fake anyways. But that gets to the next question. Is like, what do I want it to do? I kind of want it to be the single highest trading card sale of all time. I think it will usher in a lot of dumb money. It will usher in that there's already people buying PSA 10 first edition Pikachus for $800, $900 again. Things are getting silly, but a lot of things are not as silly as they were in 2021. I was just having this conversation this morning in Discord. I sold PSA 9 unlimited Charizards for $6,000 to $8,000, multiple of them. I sold PSA 9 Shadowless Blastoise for $10,000, multiple of them. There were some things happening 5 years ago that we're not anywhere close to. But if this card goes for 15 million, you should take stock of what you have right now, and you should put realistic or even unrealistic price targets on them. People should figure out life-changing money might be on the table for many people today it already is for a lot of people in the market that we're in. But if this happens again, it could be very quick. It could be a flash in the pan. But like in the coming months, you might have the opportunity to sell PSA 9 unlimited Charizards for 5,000 plus again. You might have the chance to sell certain low pop, maybe you're a true collector going back 10 years. You might be able to pay off your house. You might be able to pay off your student loans. You might be able to change your life with some of the dumb money potentially coming. And I'm not saying people are dumb because like buying it, like I don't think buying an Illustrator for $12 million is dumb. If you have that much money, it's like, who the hell cares at that point? If you're a billionaire, it's like, I can't tell a billionaire it's dumb to spend 1% of your money on a Pokemon card because you have so much excess, it doesn't even mean anything. But one thing that could happen, that did happen 5 years ago, was like, there were people that didn't have the money. These were scary conversations, but I had people buying from me asking if it was a good buy. I had people that like, maybe they were a millionaire, but they owned, like, they had $1 million that were spending 1% of their net worth on a PSA 9 Shadowless Blastoise for $10,000. And they were asking me if it was a good buy. I said, I don't know. It could go up. It could go down. True Dan answer. I said, the only thing you should know and think about, I'm selling it. So it's like, that tells you more than anything I'll say. If I'm selling it, that tells you more than anything I'll say. But yeah, I think I said all this around Logan Paul and the golden auction, and I didn't even cover UAP's question. How do I feel about Logan revealing that he has investments in the company and close relations inside PSA? The one thing that I'll say that kind of shocks me, if he has buddies at PSA, Logan, why did you not recase this card?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it has the old labels. I guess it has the Dubai collection. It has the pre-Dubsy, the first edition. Like this is pre-Dubsy, the sticker, Dubai collection. Maybe he didn't want to get rid of that. But like, look at the scratches on the slab. Are they on the card or on the slab? There's the whole history of like, this was a PSA 9 7 times or whatever. I don't know why. If he had someone close at PSA, get that thing recased. Get it cleaner with all the logos, all the security features, all that stuff. I'm
kind of surprised even if he didn't have a buddy at PSA, I'm kind of surprised PSA didn't offer to do that. Because this is a good thing for their brand too. They're grading more Pokemon than they are sports nowadays.
It's funny. I remember a conversation that was being had at Rusty's house last Charlotte, and I was talking about a recent PSA 10 base first Charizard auction, and I just said I was surprised that the seller didn't reholder it. I was standing right next to the seller. It was funny. I didn't go as far to say like, oh, what a moron! I can't believe you didn't do that. But I truly think with the whole and further, not with the 1/1 Illustrator, not with the one PSA 10 Pop 1, but if I was the owner of a 2-cert PSA 10 base first edition, there are ways to do this. I promise you. With all the dummy cert buyers out there, I would put that into a brand new, not only case, I would put it into a new cert number. There are ways to do that. I'm not going to walk through the process of how to do that, but there are ways to do it. I think people would pay more for a 12-cert PSA 10 base first Charizard right now than for like a 2-cert one, and that's easy enough to do, which demonstrates how silly it is valuing a cert number over a different cert number, because those can be issued at will.
Do you think the pedigree helps this Charizard? Does it matter at all?
To me, it wouldn't, but again, I'm too broke to matter the value of this card. Like the thing, going to what I just said. So the pedigree is reversible one way. The same way, look at a sealed product. Sealed product, I don't have anything crazy behind me. I only have this. This is, I can open it, and then it's open forever. If you take that Charizard out of its case, you will not get it back into a case that says Logan Paul. But if you don't like that the case says Logan Paul, you can call up PSA. Sure, it might cost thousands of dollars. It will cost thousands of dollars. But you can get it into a PSA 10 case without Logan Paul on it. I promise. Like, kind of a lot of money, but like relative to the cost of the card, $5 grand, $10 grand, like who cares if you're spending $1 million on a Pokemon card? So it's like, to me, I think it shouldn't be able to hurt it that much, and it should only be able to help. But I think him specifically, like, I don't know. I don't see it attracting that many people. But then again, like, there are people out there spending $80,000 on a Cheetozard. So it's like, what the hell do I know? I truly have no factoring in at cards of this caliber, this tier. But I think UAP is asking this question from a more dramatic way of like, and I don't know if you supported our close friend Gem Mint Pokemon or not, but Tetra Ninja had a big tinfoil hat conspiracy. You didn't hear that?
I heard that
On Instagram. They posted it as a reel.
I kind of like that theory, and I can see it. I can see it being possible. It would make a lot of sense considering how Logan Paul appears to be big into Pokemon. Why would he sell this card? He obviously doesn't need the money. So it's not about the money. Having another one in his back pocket, that would be such an evil move. But it would definitely make sense there.
And I think, isn't this being hand delivered by Logan Paul as well?
That whole thing is so dumb. Yeah, it's hand delivered, and it includes the little necklace.
This honestly, I hadn't read this line until right now. This is disgusting. The current hobby consensus is that 41 copies of this card were officially awarded and distributed with this Logan Paul backed piece, the chief among them. That line is actually disgusting. Like I wouldn't even call that marketing. That is just completely manufactured BS. It is well accepted now by people deep in the know that there are way more. And last I knew, wasn't the number 39 awarded? And then there's like 100 with extra copies these days.
Mm-hmm.
That line's actually gross, which who cares? All the people buying this, it's like they could know if they ask the right people, but they're not going to ask the right people.
That's the other thing. Is someone in the hobby going to buy it, or is someone like Mr. Wonderful and Shine going to buy it?
I feel like the odds of that are relatively high.
Yeah, I think it'll be someone completely outside of Pokemon. Just investing.
But at the end of the day, it's like, who cares? Way beyond.
What's among the 53 examples of this piece recorded? So it has 41 and 53.
Wait, I didn't see. Among
Right
the
there.
53 examples of this piece recorded in PSA census. That's hilarious. So they openly say that there are 53 in PSA census. Some are BGS graded, some are CGC graded. If you ask them, they would probably say like, yeah, there's a lot regraded. But the ironic part is there's only 2 currently in the PSA 9 tier of the pop. So like when it was a PSA 9, they must have been sending the cert back. They must have been getting it reviewed or sending the cert back because there's not like 8 of them in the pop. And as far as I understand, I think this was 5 or 6 times. I think this was a PSA 9 before a PSA 10, which like the only thing that matters is the label. The like when people give that whole thing, rich people don't care. The only thing that matters is that right there, Gem Mint 10.
Yeah.
As far as the whole drama around like this was a 9 before. Yeah, the number one, cert number 1 T206 Wagner was trimmed also. But if that thing went for auction, you'd have a lot of videos being made about it was trimmed, it was this, it was that, and then it would sell for $30 million or whatever crazy number too. It's like the rich people don't care, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hand delivery by Logan Paul himself, put in the title. But yeah, I and one question I was going to ask too: if it sells for $15 million and is the most expensive trading card sale of all time, is that good or bad for the hobby?
I think that's good for the hobby. I think it's bad for. It's good and bad, I guess. If you're a buyer, it's bad. If you're a seller, it's good. Because yeah, I think it'll just bring more. It's hard to imagine more like awareness to Pokemon, but I think if it did whatever it sells for, it's going to be a crazy amount, so news is going to cover it. But if it does become the highest ever card to sell, so many news outlets are going to cover that, and that's going to bring so much more attention to Pokemon, and a portion of those people who see that are going to get into the hobby. So yeah, if you're a seller, I think that's going to be really big. Buying, I think stuff would get more expensive. So it depends on what side of the fence you're on, I guess.
This block is so disgustingly stacked, and I was going to answer it the same way. I was going to be on the fence, and I was going to say there's pros and cons. Like, it's not inherently good or bad. Like, Logan Paul being in the hobby is not inherently good or bad, I don't think. A lot of people get very like, oh, it's the best thing that ever happened to the hobby. It's the worst thing that ever happened to the hobby. My take is always like, it just is. It's a fact that, like, he is involved in the hobby. It is a fact that this card is auctioning right now. And whether or not it goes for 10, 12, 15 million, 7 million, whatever, like, it will just be. It won't be good or bad. It just is. And there will be pros and cons to that. That's like, I'll pull you up onto the fence with me, and I'll say, hey, look, over there on that side, those are all the pros. Those are all the cons. It just is. But people get like people need to be binary. There's two buckets. There's good, there's bad. There's 0, there's 1. You need to put it into one of those two buckets only. A lot of people get that way, and it's just weird. Look at this block, though. I don't know if you've seen me speed scrolling, but there are some cards.
There's a lot of really good stuff in here, but there's also some like not junk, but like there's some stuff that's like, why would you like the Burger King? Why? You have such a premier auction block. Why are we putting Burger King toys and Evolving Skies booster box cases? Why not make that next week?
Nick, these are historic items. I mean, I'm kind of memeing, but I'm not memeing. These are historic pieces, actually. Come on, everyone had these, but not everyone has them today. These things are grails.
I don't know. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of good stuff, but there's also there's a decent bit of just stupid stuff in there. They could have left out.
Logan Paul's getting a piece of the action on all of it too.
That's wild.
I'm assuming he's getting 1% or 2% of like the whole auction block, but I think the following that he has, the following that might come if this thing sells for $15 million. And I'm in the star chat right now. There are 52 comments in the live chat that I haven't read yet that I need to catch up on once we're done with this segment. But I will get to them eventually. The kind of people that were coming in 2020, 2021, those Burger King things might go stupid. Like, don't go on and blind buy on this lot. These things might go expensive. Like the amount of eyes, the amount of people after this stuff is potentially crazy right now. And like I said, I wasn't super ready. When 2020, 2021 happened, I know we've told this story multiple times. You were on a boat. You were on a ship. We were locked down in a pandemic. My wife and I were expecting our second child. And I was a full-time. Like, when the boom started, I had 2 houses. I had 2 mortgage payments. I had just put 20% down on my second house. I had just put 40 grand into renovating my house, carrying 2 mortgages, expecting a second child. The world went into a lockdown. I was not ready. One thing I will say today, whatever this Illustrator does, whatever happens in the, like, be ready. Prepare yourselves. One thing additionally too, shout out to my own consignment option. Shout out to Z&G Emporium. Shout out to DC Sports 87. We're not going to shout out the one that shouldn't be named. But, like, if and when things get silly, a lot of people will be like, oh, man, I need to get the tippity top. Like, a lot of people will watch a card 10x and then catch it on the way down only at a 6x from what they owned it at. But one thing that we have then, and maybe that will make the prices move quicker. Maybe that will make the top come quicker and the bottom come quicker on the way down. But, like, you have the ability to put things into a box and send it to options where you're getting 95% net payout very, very quickly. I've consigned with Golden. I've consigned with Heritage. And I promise you, from when you send the goods to when you get the money, it's like a 6-month process. There are a lot of options out there now where your item will be listed within a week or 2, and you'll get the funds well within a month, counting the 7 to 10 days that the auction is running. So it's like, be ready, but also, like, you have options that are a lot quicker too, where you don't have to be as ready, if that makes sense.
Random thing. Speaking of ups and downs, have you? I just found out about this yesterday, so it made me made me excited. Have you seen pricing on gray felt hats? They're back up to 2,000.
Yep.
They fell to like 1400 PSA 10s. But they're back up to 2,000. Which is wild.
It's funny because I had like 10 of them. Like 2 weeks ago, I owned 10 gray felt hats. I bought them at like 85%, and I just quick flicked them for like 90. And I no longer own them, and now they're making a run again. So it's like I sold hundreds of them too early before, and it's hilarious because I just sold 10 of them too quickly again. But yeah, it's wild out here. It is wild. I'm gonna try to catch up with chat a little bit. I see people commenting about everything. Even Mr. Beast is in this now. No stopping this. I knew Frosted coming back was a beacon of hope and triumph. I see. I didn't see it myself firsthand, but I heard that Logan and I think Mr. Beast's Twitter avatar is the Luffy guy from One Piece. I say Luffy sarcastically. I think his name is Luffy, right?
I couldn't even tell you. It's definitely not Luffy. I can tell you that much.
But I think Logan mentioned it in a video too, One Piece. So it's like One Piece is stonking and Pokemon is stonking, and it's all insane. Oh God, chat is wilding. It could go unpaid, but one thing that I'll say too, I am registered with Golden to bid to a very high level, but it's not dumb like eBay. Remember during the last boom, like Mizkif and all those big guys on Twitch, they were live streaming some of the auctions ending on PWCC eBay, and people were bidding up cards to like $10 million on eBay. I think eBay has improved this some. I think there are more systems in place for high-end bidding on auctions, but like Golden will vet you significantly more in depth to bid at those levels. I am not approved to bid at those levels. I can bid high six figures on Golden. I cannot bid on the. I don't believe so. I don't think they, because I showed them assets to get like a bid limit. I showed them a certain amount of assets, and I think maybe they gave me some multiplier on that. But you have to show the ability to pay. So presumably anyone bidding at 5, 10 million, they have the funds. Now, does that mean that a billionaire couldn't bid $10 million and then back out of the sale? I think when you have that level of money, there are legal recourses for Golden to actually sue. And I think the unpaid nature, like I've talked with James before, ZNG Emporium, 93% is about the pay rate on eBay auctions. And that's what it was historically for me too. Fanatics, I get about 97% paid rate. When you get above $5 million, I think the payout rate is 99.9999999%. I think it's very rare that things go unpaid. But are the chances zero? Definitely not. Sleeve mentions I'm excited but scared. I think that's a common sentiment. I think a lot of people, and the analogy I always use is like the Taylor Swift concert. A lot of the true OG fans, I went and I saw a Taylor Swift concert years ago for $100 when she opened for Rascal Flatts at the New York State Fair.
That's wild.
She blew up, and now I have to spend $1,000 to go to a concert, right? Because she got that much more popular. I think some people genuinely fear true collector. I love all this stuff. If everyone comes in, like my hobby, my joy is going to get more expensive. It's a valid fear, but it's like, it's kind of selfish and unfair to say, like, I want Taylor Swift to stay small enough that I can always go to her concerts for $100 or less. I want Pokemon to stay small enough that I want to be able to buy a 20-year-old box for $200. Is that so much to ask? Yes, that actually is so much to ask. So, like, at some point, I understand the sentiment. Again, kind of like the whole Collecticon thing, having 20 events versus 5 or 6. I understand the sentiment, but it is something that is just not like, it's not reasonable in practice, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Everyone in the hobby, as a holder of WotC bulk, sells huge for the hobby. I mean, Kabuto King helped out all the WotC bulk holders a lot, more than Logan Paul, I think. Logan Paul being the one who bid on it, though. Logan Paul was the underbidder on the Kabuto King, I believe.
Yeah, that whole thing was crazy.
So yeah, I'm starring more questions as we go. What do you think will be a bigger? Oh, I think I was actually going to come back to it because remember I brought up what Tetra Ninja said. I brought up what Tetra Ninja said, and then I didn't say what he said. But the deep conspiracy that Tetra brought up was that like Logan Paul probably already owns a PSA 9 with like a back alley handshake deal that like he can regrade it into a 10. It would not be the most shocking thing. It would probably not be the most illegal, unsavory, immoral thing to happen in the hobby in the year, sadly. But like that's part of why I'm short plastic. I'm short plastic because like yucky things go on. The history of this card is kind of yucky. It was a 9 5 times and then it was a 10. Like I don't value this card 10 times more because the submitters got lucky one time. And that like on a small scale, that happens with every card in the hobby. Like even if it gets a 10 the first time, it's like there are cards that will get a 10 the first time 90% of the time, and there's cards that will only get a 10 first time 10% of the time. So it's like there's a chance that the first time this was submitted, it got as lucky as it did the 7th time or 6th time, and it got the 10 the first time. Should this card be worth more if it got graded once or 7 times? Like ultimately it got the 10. Who cares? Like, yes, look at the card, buy the card, not the grade. The card has what, and the card has this, that, the other thing. But it's like I truthfully, I don't care whatsoever if this was graded 100 times. I look at the card anyways. The fact that I look at the card, I think PSA 10s are universally overvalued, and in this instance especially so. But like I'm too broke to factor into the value of this card anyways. So it's like who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
Like some people get so like rabble. It doesn't affect you. We're all too broke for this, so it's like who cares? That's my take at least. Why get so emotional over something that doesn't affect you? And oh well, the hobby's gonna boom and dummies are gonna come in and my cards are gonna get more expensive to buy that I just want to consume. I guess it does down the line affect you somewhat, but like it will pass. This too shall pass. The last boom was crazy. I think it's gonna happen again to some extent. It's already happening again to some extent. Buy what you value more than the market. Sell what you value less than the market has always been my take. But do you think, if you had to guess one way or the other, is there some shady?
I think there's a chance. I did not even consider that, think about it until Tetra mentioned it. But it makes
Illustrator
a lot
being
of
top
sense.
2 in 2030? What are the odds of the Illustrator being pop 2 and Logan Paul owning a PSA 10 again?
I'm gonna say I'm definitely not over 50. I'm not that confident. I want to say close to 50. I might go 25%.
That's about where I was gonna land. I was gonna say less than half, decently less than half, but like, yeah, I think that's reasonable. Honestly, one thing that I think would be interesting, if you want to go real deep state, Illuminati, all that stuff, Logan would be like smart. I think he could move the market on this himself single-handedly. If he were to dump his bags, his PSA 10 Illustrator that was a 9 7 times, whatever, if you were to dump his bags and then pivot into like the true, at least to me, the true grails of the hobby are like the early trophies and things of that nature. If he were to do this devious thing of like, hey, let me sell off the Illustrator, wear it to WrestleMania, do all this stuff, pump it like crazy, and then sell it for $15 million. And then imagine if you went and spent $15 million on like actually good things. Imagine if just not during a boom, but imagine if you just like spent 5 or 10 years having someone acquire for him quietly. Just buy on Heritage Golden, Fanatics, eBay, buy PSA 10 base first when it comes up. Buy trophies when they come up, and just put that $10 million into like good things, and then 5-10 years from now, 40th anniversary, 50th anniversary, go on the pump of like good stuff, and he could just have like billions of dollars of Pokemon cards at that point. I don't know, but I think it's less likely that he's gonna pop up with a PSA 10 Illustrator again. One being added to the pop though, it's like any card, fold it in half, do anything you want. Any card can be a PSA 10. The more valuable it is, the more scrutiny it will get. But remember, again, Pokesun, I think was the one pointing this out. There was like an EX Power Keeper's Charizard, I believe it was, reverse hollow. It was like run over. It was like wiped on concrete. It was like shredded. It was terrible condition, and it was a PSA 10. It was a clerical error, clearly, but like every card has the chance to be a PSA 10. The odds might be low, but like any card on any given day can be any given grade, consistently inconsistent. That's my stance on grading, and I have receipts to back it up. It's all kind of a joke. It's all kind of made up to some extent. But yeah, interesting tinfoil hat coming from, shout out to Tetra Ninja and the podcast there.
I liked that take. That was an interesting one.
Yeah, Squeaks. Shout out to Squeaks in here. Yawn, Pokemon is old news. Get your straw hat, boys. He is speaking truth of how he really feels. I mean, he's already bailed on his new podcast. His podcast is only 3 episodes old, and he already wasn't present for the last one. I mean, he's going all in on One Piece. He must have a new trio or foursome of folks in the One Piece space to do a podcast with. He bailed on our friends Radar, Thrifty, and Mason.
And then I heard we might have another episode without our fearless leader because he values football over us. So.
No, I was gonna do that little meme, that little thing, and kind of poke at Squeaks, and then I was gonna say like, hey guys, tune in the off-center pod. He's not in tomorrow's episode.
I don't know if it's tomorrow. I don't know if it's tomorrow's episode or next week's episode. I think it might be tomorrow. I forget.
Now I feel kind of bad. I was poking at him, and he might actually go check out the off-center pod. Squeaks may or may not be there. I don't know. I thought I was going to say with certainty that he was going to be there tomorrow, but they're on every Friday. Let's see. Okay, I think we're kind of still in this Logan Paul segment, so let me star another one of those, and then I'll continue looking for questions to make sure I don't miss any. But Mega Super Leaf says, what do you think will be a bigger catalyst for the market, Logan Paul 30th anniversary or print numbers later this year? I think print numbers later this year will be the smallest catalyst because, like, sure, they go on Poke Beach, sure, I'll talk about them, Nostalgianomics will talk about them, but like for the most part, that doesn't spread as wide. Logan Paul tweets, Logan Paul makes a short, an Instagram reel, whatever. I think Logan Paul, his Illustrator, the Golden Show, the Golden Block, I think that's the biggest right now. The 30th anniversary, though, will be big. I presume Pokemon has some amount of ad spend going on. I presume they're going to be pushing things far and wide. Lego, like, at some point, too, like the Logan Paul block is happening because it's the 30th. Like, he timed it purposely, intentionally for the 30th. So there's a lot of overlap between Logan Paul and the 30th. Do we count Lego as the 30th? Because I think that's big, too. Lego is big. Getting Pokemon into the homes of all the Lego fans, and then some amount of them are going to go and buy cards. Some amount of them are going to go and buy plushies. Like, it's all good for the hobby. But I think, like, Logan Paul and the 30th are up here. The print numbers are, like, I cannot demonstrate how low those are relative to the other two.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. Print numbers are so far down the rabbit hole. The vast majority of people don't care about that. So I think it's what you had written. Logan Paul number 1, 30th anniversary number 2, and then print numbers.
A certified scammer being involved in the hobby is battle over in the long run, no matter how you look at it. Look at our largest consigners on various largest selling platforms. Look at some of the history of our favorite grading card companies. If a scammer being adjacent, around, involved, entwined within the hobby completely invalidates it all, we're in rough shape because they're everywhere. It's a sad reality that we live in, but like they are everywhere. At the end of the day, money wins. So yeah,
exactly. People like we talked about with the news cycle, people move on and forget about it. You don't hear anyone talking about the test prints anymore. Nothing that we know of happened to the people involved with that.
And here's something. Like, this is something that I would not have forecasted a year ago when I started saying, like, hey guys, I think Prismatic, Destin, Journey, I think all these sets that haven't been available under MSRP, I think they will more likely be available under MSRP at some point in the future. I said that with the information I had as of that time. When a new event happens, when new information comes to light, like an Illustrator going for $15 million, if and when that happens, I think that makes it more likely that I will be wrong. Yes, I will shift my percentages. But like a month ago, a couple episodes ago, we had some news that even though it's 2026, 2027, 2028, whatever the year, depending on the phase you're looking at, the printers. So it's like new news comes out. I change my forecast. I change my percentages. We'll see how this goes. And I might put up the white flag. If this goes for 15 million, if gray felt hats go to $5,000, if Moonbrand goes to $10,000, if Destined Rivals goes to $1,000, all of which could happen. All of those things I just said could happen this year. It's collectibles. It's a tiny market relative to the multi-trillion-dollar gold and silver. Like when silver moves $20, which it has in the past couple of weeks, that's trillions of dollars. Like everything in Pokemon could 10x by next Tuesday. It's that tiny of a market. Like it truly could happen. I'm not forecasting to it happen, but it could. So it's like things could happen to where I give up on my, like I haven't yet. I promise I haven't yet. But yes, something like this current boom that we're going through, it's not on my side. It is adjusting things, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be exciting and fun to see what happens.
Do you still think that for boxes specifically?
I've never said
boxes specifically
from the start. I've never because I know that I don't know. I know that I don't know what SKUs they're going to print. I know that they're going to print packs, and they have been printing packs. In hindsight, I'm kind of shocked how high Prismatic has remained, given how much they've printed. But I still think packs will go below MSRP. But this is and people don't have an attention span, as you said. The test print cards, the CT scanning, the yada yada, all the things that like people were up in arms about. People don't have an attention span to remember anything. But I promise you, go back. I've never deleted a video. Pokeflips a year ago, my solo lives a year ago, my videos. I've always said packs. I've always said packs. I've never said boxes. I've explicitly said not boxes, not ETBs, packs, because I don't know how they'll put them out. They might just do Sea and Sky. I said that. They might do Sea and Sky. They might do 16 packs into some configuration for Sam's Club and Walmart and Target and Costco and they have been doing some of that. But yeah, hindsight, like I'm less confident than I was a year ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago. But we'll see what happens. That's what makes it fun, right? It makes it fun that we disagree. We have debates and we have difference of opinions, and we invest and speculate with our money different ways because we have different thoughts. But yeah, one thing I wanted to take, actually a few starred comments I had. So Timmy McGee said, question, most Sword Shield booster boxes are at 125 to 200% of the 36 booster pack price. Most of Scarlet Violet is 100%, with Destined Rivals being the exception. Thoughts on this metric? Obviously, SV isn't as aged, so closer to 100%. So I buy loose packs of Sword Shield for that reason, because as long as they come from a good source, as long as I know they're unweighed, I all I need is the pack. The pack is what the streams need. So I buy them early. Like when a new set comes out, I try to set back the cases. I try to tear down as few cases as possible. I try to just deal with packs. And the older they get, that's something that's always happened. Box and case premiums have always gone up over time. And box and cases, historically speaking, have been at a discount. So like I've always bought cases up front at a discount over my 12-year history. And then I've sold the cases for a premium down the line. But yeah, packs are all the stream needs. So I'm not frequently breaking down a box of Evolving Skies. I'm buying loose packs that people broke down from Charizard UPCs and tins and whatever it may be.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I would say the pricing does make sense. That booster boxes do have a substantial premium to loose packs. I can definitely see that being a thing. And I think Sword and Shield, it makes sense that Sword and Shield has more of a premium than Scarlet and Violet because it's newer. So I think that whole thing makes sense. And I do think we'll continue to see this type of premium. I don't know. It does seem like Pokemon is like not getting away from booster boxes, but it does seem like they're not caring about reprints of booster boxes. They're more so caring about reprints of big box store type stuff. Because it is kind of wild how we haven't seen a single booster box reprint in so long. When was the last one?
It's been
like
a long time.
Like a good booster, not this whole
Like cases for this,
you get
bro.
one booster box. I don't know.
It's been a long time. I barring like wave twos have come. Wave twos have come.
Yeah.
I've gotten it's hard to even keep straight what's wave two and what's I don't even know. But one thing that I'll caution, I've been here 12 years. Nick's been here even longer than that. There was a multi-year time period where ETBs were the investable thing. ETBs were like they never reprint ETBs. They only reprint booster boxes. That there were a lot. And actually, shout out to Alex Nostalgianomics. I went back on his channel like 3-4 years ago, some of his earliest videos, and there was a video that he made where Darkness Ablaze booster boxes at one point were 120, while the ETBs were also 120 because boxes got reprints and ETBs didn't. So for a while, for a multi-year period, that was the truth. That was what it was until it wasn't. And then ETBs rained down from the sky, and they were some of the worst performing investments over the 12 to 24 month time frame, whatever the exact window was. So I'll just always caution: know what you know and control, and know what you don't know and can't know and don't control. We have no control. The packs are being printed. The packs are being printed. If Pokemon decides to put the packs inside of a certain SKU, and that is going to make your investments drop 50%, be aware of that fact and just like, I'm not saying don't do it, but like know that could happen. Be aware of what you're doing and why and what the risks are. And yeah, I've always been very careful to say packs. I know they're going to print packs. I have no clue what they're going to put them into. Is it going to be poster collections or pin collections or mini tins or ETBs? Like, historically speaking, there have been people that were very confident about what they will do and won't do, and that has changed multiple times. So I'm very confident that will change again someday. Someday booster boxes will rain from the skies. I just don't know when. Will it be Destined Rivals? Maybe or maybe not. I ultimately don't care that much, and I don't know at all. And I don't care because I know that I don't know and can't know unless I got some insider info. If you work at Millennium Print Group, my DMs are open. Oh, man. So there's that one. Destined Rivals booster box case is running up right now. Prismatic PC ETB back to $400. Yeah, we are.
Really? I didn't know that.
We are booming. I actually just bought, not for an investment, not for a long-term hold. I made a deal this morning on some PC ETB little collection that's coming in, and I'm just going to sell it through the live streams. I'm just going to immediately sell through the live streams for a margin. I vocally been not a huge fan of PC ETBs and the process for getting them and all that stuff, but will I buy them at 75% and sell them for hopefully 10% net profit? Absolutely, yes. This was back when we were talking about like the Legos being that high price tier. This was asked 90 minutes ago. Sorry, Stephen Kassoon. Do you think we'll be seeing more premium products from Pokemon like SPCs and even more posh stuff? Yes, I think what one joke that I made in Discord, like when the Lego sets came out 18 plus, and the average net worth of 18-year-olds is higher than that of 8-year-olds. So Pokemon knows that. Pokemon knows that like there's some potential gearing towards adults. So they will do that. They will make money. Like they printed and I bought it. They printed a little Master Ball. They numbered it to 5,000, and they sold it for like $100, and they sold 5,000 of them, and they will do higher end stuff for sure. They did a collaboration with like watches. They sold like $1,000 watches or something, weren't they? Or maybe not 1,000, but hundreds of dollars. I think that will continue to be Tiffany. They did Tiffany. All those fancy brands too that I can't remember. The fancy clothing brands that they did collaborations with. Daniel Arsham, all that stuff. So I think so. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think we'll definitely see some of that stuff this year. And we'll continue to see it.
I am starring all the questions. I am only 18 minutes behind in chat right now as I scroll. So
Whoa. Wait, is the North Base one official UAP? I know they did like that. They have like that unofficial one we talked about last week. I'd love an official one. I would be the first in line for a North Face one.
When I saw this question, I thought it was going to be from mobile. Usually we get the more usually we get the more crazy questions from the mobile side. Why are you balding so much? I don't know if that's to me or to Nick. I think we're both balding decently, but genetics. I don't know. I'm sorry, or you're welcome. If my hairline going backwards, which it is, statement of fact, if that makes you feel better about your life, you have a sad life. I apologize, but I'm glad it makes you feel better. I'm glad I could brighten your day with that. And I think it's actually like a meme in the hobby. Shout out to, I'm actually gonna take this time to shout out you've met Quilly, right?
I feel like I definitely have, yeah.
So shout out to Quilly Bear Cards. I am so bullish on that hairline. I was not blessed with such a hairline, but he's a man of science like myself. He's got a pretty decent data background and sciencey and all that stuff. He just launched a channel yesterday. So I just posted him in the chat. Go check him out. Very bullish on his hairline. We have some great hairlines in the hobby. Weedle's Warehouse comes to mind. Any other good hairlines to shout out? And then some people say that it's Pokiani. How could I forget him? There's a lot of great hairlines in the hobby too, but there's definitely potentially some positive correlation between business growth and hairline recession though too, because as my GMVs grow, my hairline does recede. So I'm if there's a direct correlation between that, I am very bearish on my hairline for 2026 because we are 2026 will be another record year for KetchumAllCollectibles. I'm confident in that.
But if there is a correlation, why is Ray balding? Sorry, Ray.
Oh man, Ray, we love you. Sorry. Oh God.
I had to throw that little jab in there.
Let's see. I think I'm fully caught up on chat now. I still do have more questions starred though. Maybe if we just ignore Logan Paul, he'll go away. Let's see. PSA worked with Golden hiding the PSA 10 the PSA population of the Onus Wagner card for the whole of 2025. Almost what's between them. Hiding another PSA 10 Pikachu. That did come up on the Golden show, right? I think the Onus Wagner. I think that was in the Golden show. It was graded, and they talked about like keeping it from how moral, how reasonable is all that stuff. Like that stuff just goes on. It just is what it is. I don't love that all that stuff goes on. I don't love that there are, but that's a decent part of why I don't engage with graded cards. I most of my PC is raw. Some of my PC is graded because I graded it back when I wasn't so negative on grading. And I've always been pretty negative on grading, but it's only gotten worse with time. Positive on it with respect to my ability to do business in the hobby. So positive with respect to like making money in the hobby, but negative as far as like it brings me nothing. It brings me nothing as a collector. To have someone else who can't consistently provide the same value on anything, for them to say that card's a 10 out of 10, I don't care. You don't know as much as I do about the condition of my cards and what I enjoy about cards. Like that's my take on grading. And for anyone that knows me, like that's not revelatory. That's not new. So I did that one. Amber Phoenix Fire wants to know an hour and a half ago. Let us know if you're still here. I apologize for being so late. Question: do you think getting the 30th anniversary will cause a spike in the past anniversary cards. I have a ton of high value raw EXs from the Generations 20th set I'm debating grading. One thing that I'll say, I would say send them. I would say send them, yes. But the market is like forward looking. Some amount of that anticipation is built in. Like other people know the 30th anniversary is coming, so other people have already spec'd on that. Some amount of that is priced in. But like that said, historically speaking, like we've seen black and white come out. I think a lot of the black and white set cards popped. I think there's like Rayquaza sets coming out soon. Rayquaza cards are probably going to pop to some extent. So probably yes, but probably some amount of it's priced in. Probably not all of it though. That's my answer.
I am curious what will happen with like I care about celebrations obviously, but I am curious what will happen when like the end of this year. Where will celebrations packs be? Will they go up much further than they're at now? We've already seen a massive increase in price on those packs. They already went from like stalling out at like $7-8 a pack. Now they're over $20 a pack. So will we see that much more of an increase just because of the 30th anniversary? It'll be interesting. I don't know if we will. I think a lot of this pricing is already baked into people anticipating that this boom will happen, that the pricing will increase with the new anniversary. So I'm not convinced that we will see like a huge price increase on celebrations, on generations, but we already have seen massive increases. So I would definitely recommend getting those cards graded. And even if we don't see an increase in price, you'll still have an increased interest. So definitely get those set. If you're looking to sell them, get those sent off. Get them back before October-ish when the 30th anniversary does come out. So that way you can take advantage of when there's the most interest, or even higher interest.
And we did get confirmation in live chat 100 minutes later, still here. So thanks for being here. Awesome. I guess that wasn't specified, but if I am truly PCing forever cards, like I'm not grading PC cards anymore at all. Like if I'm truly, there is no price that will make me sell this card, I don't grade those cards personally anymore. But if there's some chance that you might sell it, grading them increases the liquidity, increases the value. So definitely worth doing if they're gradable copies. I would definitely do that myself if there were any chance that I might consider selling them. So we got that. Getode says, hypothetical question, how much money would you have to be offered to sell your entire Pokemon business operations inventory? You can still interact with the hobby, but not necessary for profit. So that's, I mean, I would sell my entire inventory. I would love to sell my entire inventory at like 80%, and then I just start rebuying 80, maybe closer to 90%. I have a lot of good stuff, but I have a lot of bad stuff too that I would love to get 80% on. So if it was just inventory, that's easy. But like right now, I'm not going to say the exact amount, but like Pokemon to me is not just the inventory. One, I enjoyed a lot. So that's a big aspect. There's a big value on my enjoyment of it. I will enjoy in the coming decades engaging with Pokemon. So not being able to make money in it would take a lot of that enjoyment out. So big number just for that. But like I'm making a very hefty wage in it right now. It's like asking the analogy where I first was going to go is like it might be seen as arrogant or something, but by no means am I saying I'm a sports superstar in the Pokemon market. But it's like asking somebody coming out of their rookie contract, like, hey, you're slated to sign this contract for like multi-million a year, guaranteed for the next decade. Like, how much money do we have to pay you to never play professional football? There's the uncertainty. Like, I might make millions more in my lifetime in Pokemon. The number would be in the millions. The number would be in the millions to say like,
easily.
And that's aside from inventory. Like I'm talking just to say, Dan, we will buy your entire inventory on top of this at liquidation value or even full market value. It would be millions because I love this stuff. And the way that it is too, I would feel obligated. I would feel I'm a man of my word, and I've given my word to, at this point, several different individuals that like I am here as long as health and all that stuff. But I would have to buy out 5 very unhappy people who I've basically given my word to, that like I'm here doing business for the foreseeable future. So it would be several $1,000,000. It would probably be an 8-figure sum, because I would have to distribute multiple 7 figures to other people to make them not come after me.
Hey, at least your people haven't moved to you. But
I have a whole fleet of independent contractors who depend on me to some extent.
Yeah, that wouldn't affect me too much. I wouldn't have any problem throwing Thrifty and Walrus to the wolves. If some rich billionaire came up to me offering them some crazy amount of money, I wouldn't think twice about it. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like you were saying, I do really enjoy this. So that's a big part of it, is I do actually really enjoy this. Spend way too much time on Pokemon. But it's not only like a business, it's also my passion. So like if I got out of it, what would I do with my day? I'd have to find something else, because I would be extremely bored. But then also you got to think about how long you've spent like building up your brand, your connections with, like, for me, eBay, Dan Fanatics and eBay, your connections with distro, all that type of stuff means a lot. So what kind of value would you place on that? It would be really tough. Well, Walrus and I were talking about it on stream one time. The inventory would be easy, because it's just a matter of what's it worth, what would you take for it. But the business aspect would be really tough. And he was surprised. So I'm glad you said you gave an absurd number there, a couple of millions of dollars, because he was surprised when I said that. But it's true. We've built up something that actually does have value. Not everyone can get distro right now. Not everyone can get on eBay Live and Fanatics. Not everyone has a YouTube and Instagram, a following on eBay, and it takes time to build up that stuff. So if you want to just come in and start off with that, it is going to cost a ton of money.
Well, and there's another aspect to that too, is and I bumped my mouse. My mouse is like a fancy gaming mouse that I used to play Fortnite with. It's got like all kinds of buttons on it, and I forgot one of the buttons is like a back button. It's like a back button when you're within a browser. So I hit the back button on my mouse. Anyways, one important angle. I used to be a chemical engineer, and I used to make $80,000 a year. I make many multiples of that right now. I won't necessarily make that forever, but I'm not marketable in any other market for nearly this net income. There is nowhere I can go that immediately comes to mind where I will make as good as I make right now. So it's like I'm forfeiting something that I really enjoy. I'm forfeiting something that I'm good at, something that I'm making a lot of money in. It needs to be a lot of money. And then the additional layer of like the independent contractors who are making a lot of money doing this thing as well. But if you made it so like you're not allowed to engage in Pokemon anymore, like it would have to be even so much more. Like in this world, I could theoretically play Pokemon Go still with my kids and build the Pokemon Lego sets and be a consumer to them. But even then the number would be 8 figures plus. But Ghetto came back and said, not even for 100 million. Definitely for 100 million.
100 million.
Yes, 100 million, easy. I'm done with it all. Like I will have conversations with PK and Ponga and Spat and Bierski and Grimer and Skya, and I will figure out plans to help them through it, and I will use a chunk of that money to help facilitate whatever they needed in the interim. But yes, 100 million easy. It's one of those silly hypotheticals that like we're never going to be faced with anyways. So, but I guess there's interest in 10 million though. Probably 10 million. Definitely not 1 million though. Definitely not $1 million. $10 million is a lot of money. $10 million is a lot of money. I would be way beyond Coast Fire. I would be way beyond the 4% rule, and I would literally be able to just put that money in. And are we talking tax free, or are we talking is it taxable? And 10 million is only 5 million. Like, hypotheticals get silly when you linger on them too long, I guess. But that's where I'm at. Somewhere between 5 and 50 million, I guess, would do the trick.
Well, you just said 10. Now you're upping it to 50?
Well, I'm thinking like I'm going to be taxed on this. 10 is 5, basically. If you get 10 all in 1 year, a windfall, like taxed on it, 10 is 5.
No, we're
So
just talking the money shows up in your bank account. You wake up one morning and all of a sudden you got whatever amount in your bank account.
well, that 5 to 50 then. Because that's the way that I saw 10. I saw 10 as being 5 anyways.
Okay.
It's like when you win the $1 billion Mega Millions and then you're sad to find out that you only get $400 million or whatever, taking the lump sum and paying the taxes. But yeah, and one thing about me personally, I've talked about this some on my channel. I'm definitely going to talk about it more in the future. I will never retire to a golf course for the rest of my life. I will never retire to a beach for the rest of my life. I always want to do something. I always want to do something like stimulating, engaging, and I think a byproduct of that, not necessarily everything in life has to generate money, but I genuinely enjoy eBay. I enjoy flipping. I enjoy reselling. Like I've done it with video games. I've done it with beer steins. I've done it with coins. I've done it with Pokemon cards. And I think my entire life I will have an eBay account. I will be screwing around with my Fanatics vault with consigning things here and there. I just enjoy it. It's something that I enjoy. So like, even if I don't have to, I always will.
Mm-hmm. I'm the same way.
And yeah, I'm talking about the lower bound. Naturally, I'd accept up to infinity. But let's see. We did that one. Here we go. Pikachu with a good one. Can you guys talk about your Keystone deals? Deals that acted as a major breakthrough for your reselling career. If you want to start, Nick, I'm actually going to pull something up.
So I would, the first one would be, so I got back into Pokemon 2009, like the business side, did it through high school, did it through halfway through college, gave up on it. And then, halfway through college, I gave up on it, sold everything off because I figured it's too busy with college. I'm going to start working full time. I'll never come back to Pokemon. Graduated college, got a job, and with the job, I worked 4 months, and then I came home for 4 months, got really bored, so I wanted to hop right back into Pokemon. So that's kind of how I started. So that very first collection that I bought, obviously I'm off the ship. I have a bank account full of money, more money than I've ever seen, because obviously my first adult job. So I bought I want to say it was like a $12,000 collection back in, this was early 2016, which back then that was a good size collection. And it wasn't anything like super high end. There was just a ton of quantity. WotC Hollows. I don't remember anything much from like the EX era, but then like black and white full arts, XY full arts, just a ton of quantity of that stuff. And that's what got me back started on eBay is that one collection. So I would say that was a really big one. And then also Gary, King Pokemon. Not like one in particular, but the deals that I did with him over the years. It was a lot of bulk. So much WotC bulk that I was able to get off of him over the years. And that really kind of that was my whole business for a very, very long time, is selling both WotC commons and uncommons. And I really enjoyed that portion of it. But that was my business from like 2016 up till 2018, maybe 2019. But yeah, so that was a big one. And then trying to think of a more recent one. I don't know if I've had like a recent, like really big. I guess there was one down in. I actually flew down to where was it? I flew down to Dallas, and picked up a really big collection. That kind of it gave me. So like this was when I started live streaming. I started with what I had. We sold through that very quickly. And now you get to the point where you just constantly need stuff for the streaming. So I was able to go find this collection. Someone reached out to me, buy it down in Dallas. And then I drove up or flew to Kansas City for Collecticon that year. But this collection kind of gave me like a couple of months that I had a consistent supply of inventory for eBay Live. So that was another big one. But yeah, that would be my kind of two or three that I would say.
If we do this, even if we retired, have we already retired? I definitely see what I'm doing as like step 0 of retirement. I when I quit my job, I semi-retired. The first decade of me in the workforce, being full-time chemical engineer, alongside almost that entire journey, I was grinding Pokemon on the side, Pokemon or coins or steins or video games, whatever I was doing at the time. I was grinding an additional 20 to 50 hours a week most of that decade. So like I was working 40 to 50 hours a week as an engineer and 20 to 50 hours a week on whatever else I was doing. There were definitely some 100-hour weeks in there that I put in. I have not put in a 100-hour week in so long, and I am hopefully never going to put in another 100-hour week again. I promise I've put in a bunch of them though. And the same thing goes for 90, 80, 70. I don't put in many 70-hour weeks anymore. That's 10 hours a day for an entire week straight. I promise I've done that in my day. But those days are behind me. Not for lack of opportunity, not for lack of the market being there, but because I have kids and I have a wife and I just have other priorities than growing the net worth at a faster rate than I currently am. So yeah, I definitely see what I'm doing as like semi bridging towards that first step of retirement, if that makes sense.
I definitely am not. It's a lot more fun and it's easier work. But I would say I don't think I'm working harder than I worked on the ship, but I would say about the same, maybe a little bit less because you're doing 12-hour days, so I would say a little bit less still, but not that much less. But part of it is because, like you said, I don't have kids, don't have a wife. So what else am I going to do?
Yeah, and I'm not saying this in a regretful way. I'm very happy where I'm at, but my current living situation and everyone's is different. It just doesn't afford itself to those grindy 70, 80-hour weeks. But I promise you, like all else equal and transport me, like if I was 22 in this boom and I was making $54,000 a year as a chemical engineer, which I was at the time, I would have quit my job so fast. I would be putting in how many hours are in a week? I would be putting in a disgusting amount. I would be putting in the most grindy weeks of my life ever if I were in that alternate reality where I'm currently 22 and single and no kids. And like in everyone's situation is different, but like I said this half an hour ago, whenever, prepare yourself and like iterate in what we're in now. This is not going to last forever. I've actually had this conversation with Alex to some extent. Nostalgianomics. I'm going to be on his channel a week from tomorrow. But like last May, at least short term, maybe not an all-time high, but last May is where our live streams kind of peaked. Maybe they'll turn around again, but we were selling the most packs we were selling. And he's mentioned where he was like, you don't know how long it's going to last, and you grind while it's there. You grind while it's there and while you're able to grind. And then if you're a $10,000 net worth today and you grind it out for the next couple of years and this boom retains, and maybe the next time it happens, you've got a 7-figure net worth, and it's just like you've got kids and a wife, and you don't need to and don't want to anymore as much. Like everyone's story is different. But anyways, back to the whole Keystone deal thing. I am going to post a video. I'm going to post a video. I made a video 3 years ago now, almost 10 years of selling on eBay. I will spare everyone the entire slideshow, but there were a couple standout things that I wanted to show. I made a slideshow every year selling on eBay. I did my biggest 3 sales, my biggest 3 buys. So 2014 is when I got into Pokemon. 2015 is the first one that I want to show. So big Keystone deal for me. Nick left. Nick doesn't care to hear. But first Keystone deal for me, it was a very big deal getting that first base set first edition Charizard. So 2015, I did $96,000 in gross sales, learning to flip Pokemon, big 3 sales. So I bought a $1,000 collection on eBay that contained a base set first edition Charizard. I still remember getting that Charizard in the mail. I still remember not believing it. I graded it. It was a PSA 5. That was not like an unexpected, like that was my first ever PSA grading submission. It was my 15 free vouchers that you used to get when you signed up for a PSA membership. I remember it quite well. It graded the PSA 5. I sold it for $420. I need to look up. Let me say, look up PSA 5 base first Zard cert. I want to buy that card back someday. That is the only graded card I care about. I want to rebuy that PSA 5 base first Charizard that I sold, my first ever graded Charizard. But that was like a Keystone deal for me because it was the biggest deal I'd ever made at the time in Pokemon. It was the first time I cracked into 4 figures in Pokemon. If you look back, I had done Stein deals and coin deals in the 4-figure territory, but that was the first time I ever got there. Not that one, this one. So shout out to Gary. Shout out to one of the true pillars of the hobby. Shout out to one of the Hall of Famers. Back on E4, Gary made a post in October of 2017. Hey, I've got a friend. They listed a large lot of cards. I still have the box this came in. It was like a very nice, cool, like professional, like maybe it's $100 box. I don't know, but pre-Pelican cases, pre all this stuff. Like this guy had a nice, cool custom case, and it had it was all card savers. It was all graded cards, and I just bought, like, he was in the middle of grading a collection and selling it off, and I ended up buying him out on the rest of it. A lot of the cards were very gradable. It was gold stars and old school EXs and EX reverse hollows and legendary collection reverse hollows. It was a great collection, amazing collection. The first time I'd ever spent 5 figures, and that year I did it multiple times. But yeah, the first 4-figure, the first 5-figure deal, those were some of my biggest like Keystone collections that were like, hey, I know what I'm doing here. I'm making good money. They were some of my biggest early flips that I made that were like, I've got something going here. Let me continue on this. So yeah. And crazy as that it is, so 4-figure deal I did in 2015, my second year in Pokemon. My first 5-figure deal was 2 years later. I just made my first 6-figure deal a couple of months ago. The first time I've ever spent $100,000 on a collection, but I bought a collection for $100,000 in late 2025. So it took me 11 years to do my first 6-figure deal. Have you bought that one that big yet?
I have not, no. Biggest for me would have been that Dallas collection. That was 55,000. That's the biggest I've done.
Yeah, what was that? Oh yeah, I've bought a lot. Well, I bought several. I bought several in like the 30 to 60, 70,000, probably 30 to 60. I don't know if I've ever bought anything for between 60 and 100, but one of the more recent ones that I bought was 100 flat. It was like 40 grand in graded cards and 80 grand in sealed, and it was like 100 and something thousand. I paid 100 for it. That was a cool one.
That's cool.
Let's see. You're a liar, Dan. Engineers yearn for corporate 100-hour-a-week manufacturing jobs. And
Uh,
I need to be explicit. Like I never put in a week. Probably the biggest week I put in as an engineer was like 60. There were definitely weeks that I did 60. But when I say 80, 90, 100-hour weeks, that was my job plus Pokemon on the side or whatever. That was not all. I would not have put in. I was very unhappy putting in 60-hour weeks, making 60 grand a year. If they tried getting 80 to 100 out of me, I would not have lasted long in that. I offered Nick $100,000 collection, but he wasn't comfortable paying 8,000% over market. But yeah, I like that question from Drew. Learning how to negotiate and buying that new like price tier for the first time, definitely a little bit exhilarating, a little bit scary, but like getting the grades back, running the spreadsheets, running the numbers. Like I bought $100,000 collection. I won't be able to tell you how much I got from that. It goes to the live streams, it goes to DC Sports, it goes to Fanatics, it goes everywhere. And I don't track in a single spreadsheet all these different collection buys. But back then I had a spreadsheet, every single item spilled out, every grade, I could probably find the spreadsheet for some of those old collections. But that was where like I learned that I knew that, and I had known eBay, I had known video games and Steins and coins, but I had learned that I could apply it in this new space of Pokemon.
That's something I just bought it should be coming today. I'm excited. Really good singles collection for 20, I think it was 23,000. But I do want to, because all of it's going to go through eBay Live. I think there's a handful of cards that I'll auction on regular eBay. But I want to keep track of this one and see how much I actually get. Because I've never once done that. Back in the day, yes, I would do a much better job. But recently, within the past, maybe, I don't know, 5-10 years, I've never once done that. So I want to do that with this collection that I'm getting in, and see how much I actually get out of it.
I've actually done it several times recently, but in the most boring fashion possible. I have the ability to sell into various instant ripping digital slab pack platforms, and like I've bought a $50,000 slab collection and just instantly sold it, like the same exact collection 1-to-1. I've just middlemaned it, and it's like I have a spreadsheet that details exactly how much I paid for each item and how much I got for each item, but that's just super boring.
Yeah,
the ones back in the day were $13,000 collection, and half of them were raw and half were graded, and consigning for 95% was not a thing back then. So it's like all the cards were stored in my safe, and all the cards, I remember the way that I labeled them all, and I like handled it was a lot more intimate process then, I guess. These days it's a lot more boring, it's a lot more optimized. And John, actually, shout out back to the Off Center pod. John talked recently how he wants to get more hands-on. And I think
oh God, well, we got to give him shit for that.
Let's do that right now, because this is my take. Right now, I'm looking back through rose-colored lenses. I'm romanticizing what I did with that $13,000 collection. But in the time, it's like I don't like putting slabs in padded envelopes. I don't like answering messages on eBay about, is this dust? Is this? Send me pictures. Send me a video. I am romanticizing. My memory is more fond than it actually was. If I tried replicating that, and I wager to guess that if John tried replicating some of the things, the old memories that he's romanticizing of being more intimately involved in selling his collectibles, he won't enjoy it the way that he did. You can't. It's like when you go back and you rewatch some old show that, like, oh yeah, that used to be the best show ever, or you like. If I pull out my Legos and I try to like relive the way that I used to play with them when I was younger. I had this conversation with my wife recently. My daughter wants to play Barbies. I play Barbies with my daughter, but like I just don't have the imagination anymore. I don't have the like. I used to play Barbies with my sister some, and my war guys would battle her Barbies, and all these different things. It's like I do it and I have fun because I see my daughters having fun, but same thing with my son and Legos and whatever. But it's like I remember it more fondly than it was. I promise I could not sit there without my child present and enjoy anything about playing with Barbies or Legos or whatever, right? Well, like that's the way that John's remembering handling intimately his trading cards that he was selling. That's my opinion, at least.
100%. 100%. John is not the person to grind out eBay sales. He is the corporeest of corporate Pokemon people.
Most corporate.
Yes. He is not one to be grinding out individual Pokemon sales.
Dan has lost his childlike wonder. You hate to see it. Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I think a lot of that is just looking back more fondly, and I do think of it all fondly. The one thing that I could still enjoy, but I admittedly I wouldn't enjoy it as much as I did because money and capitalism has tainted it all to some extent. But like I could go back, I could go back and open Skyridge again and enjoy it. My heart would be pumping. I would be having a good time. But to look back fondly and like, John, you're crazy. You're crazy, John, for saying like, oh, I want to touch my cards more. Yuck. No, I want to chuck them all to the live streams. I want to chuck them all to the Fanatics, to the ZNGs, to the DC Sports, and no, I want to cash the checks is all.
Mm-hmm.
Julia wants to know, have you guys watched the live action One Piece on Netflix? It's surprisingly good coming from a One Piece fan. I knew nothing of One Piece until it came into the cardboard world. I started getting an allocation from Distro on OP5. I don't think I'll ever engage with the anime or with a live action, or it's just, I tried anime a little bit. I tried Naruto, I tried Dragon Ball Z, and I'm just not an anime guy, I don't think. Barring Pokemon, and even Pokemon. Like my son goes back and watches the Sun and Moon and the X and Y, and he watches. I'm not crazy for it anymore. Like I can go and watch. I can have Indigo League on in the background, but if you make me sit and just like watch Indigo League and not be doing something else while it's on, I rarely engage with TV much at all in that fashion. So yeah, like I won't be watching One Piece ever, is what I'm saying. Sorry.
I'm like you. I've never been into anime, so I'll never watch the anime. The live action, maybe. There's just so much else to watch. Like I'm rewatching Stranger Things right now. I haven't seen season 5, but I wanted to go back and watch the whole series because that's one of my all-time favorite shows. And it's been so long since season 4 to 5 that I decided to go back and watch the whole thing. So I'm doing that right now. But even that's taking forever. I started when season 5 came out, and I just started season 3 last night. So there's so much to watch that I doubt I'll get into watching One Piece.
Yeah, I started watching years ago. I started watching Stranger Things with my wife. I didn't like it at all.
What?
Not yucking yums, but like it wasn't. I'm usually one that like it's fine, whatever. I thought it was just really bad. Like the way that people are reacting to Lego, that times 100. I just thought Stranger Things was really bad. It's like I'm not big. I think maybe this was my live stream. I think my live stream last week we kind of talked about TV. And it's like this super, and obviously Pokemon, Harry Potter, things like that. I think they've built a really cool universe. Obviously, it's fiction. Obviously, it's not real at all. But like the Stranger Things, the alien, upside down, whatever the hell, any of that crap going on, it was just stupid, I thought.
No, it's so good. I might be a hot take. The greatest show of all time is Breaking Bad. I think me, I think Stranger Things is right up there with that. But that doesn't include for my it's gonna be it can't be like a comedy show. like The Office, Seinfeld. What's the other one? Big Bang Theory. Those shows don't count. It's got to be like a drama show or something, whatever, like a storyline. So like a show like that. Breaking
Not a
Bad number
sitcom.
1 for me. Stranger Things is number 2.
See, I like The Office. Office is like one of my top 5 shows probably ever. Breaking Bad is up there as well. But Walrus says Stranger Things is anime for people that don't like anime. I don't even know what that means entirely, but I thought it was funny. But Big Bang Theory. I guess I never gave it a fair shot. I never started from episode 1. I think that show is terrible too.
You have terrible taste in TV.
Terrible.
Oh my god.
And I'm usually so middle of the road. I'm usually like, it's fine. Like, but I as far as just like random crap to throw on that can be in the background, a lot of the things like growing up, like Everybody Loves Raymond was on. I like that. According to Jim was on in the background, and Seinfeld I was never crazy about, but I never gave that one a fair shot. And probably when my dad had it on, I was like too young for it. So maybe Seinfeld I could enjoy if I gave it another fair shot. But no, Stranger Things really bad. Not as bad though as Big Bang Theory. That show was terrible. 2.5 Men was a solid show.
Wild.
No, Arthur as an S tier show.
No, I think best comedies. Seinfeld number 1, Office number 2, Big Bang Theory number 3.
I have such a bad memory. I'm trying to think. Like Parks and Rec was really good. Community was really good. What's the one with? Man, I'm terrible with names. What's the one with Phil Dunphy?
Don't give me actor names. I have no idea.
No, Phil Dunphy is the character name. I have no idea the actor's name. Modern Family. Modern Family was solid. There's so many great shows, but yeah, Malcolm in the Middle was solid. We've just slowed down so much. We watched Yellowstone recently, and when I say recently, we started it when it ended. It ended, I just looked it up, November 13th, 2022. Maybe we started like a year after it ended. It took us like 2 years to get through Yellowstone. There was 5 seasons and like 60 episodes. So like 60 episodes, an hour an episode. It took us like 2 years to get through that. I have like there was a time a year ago or so where I was instead of putting on PokeTube or whatever, I was just playing a show. I watched I'm terrible with names again. I watched a couple different shows. The House of Cards was one that I watched. I was doing Pokemon so it was like I was half-assed watching it. I thought that was really good though. But yeah, I watch a lot of sports. I don't watch a crazy amount of like we're watching all the playoff games pretty much. I watch a decent amount of Rangers games but yeah, other than that, my wife and I are looking for our next show. I think we have a decently long list of suggestions from both from my YouTube live streams and then from friends and whoever. And we haven't settled on anything yet though, because once we start it, it's like a 2-year engagement. We do have a couple more starred questions, but we are mostly caught up. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask and I will star them away. We can talk Pokemon, we can talk TV shows, whatever you want to talk about. Yeah, and Quilly with a good point here. There's definitely an education and gratification that comes from being hands-on, but after you graduate, going back to being the grunt is a pain. Yes. I don't think I will ever return to business to consumer. I will always put something in between me, whether that's an independent contractor or whether that's a consignment operation or whatever, or like Fanatics. I just can't do it anymore. Let's see. PokeFlips, thoughts on the Ace Trainer celebratory fanfare releasing in a few weeks. I think I'm going to scoop a bunch from players. So again, I will try to make this a more visual thing. I was not aware of this card until you mentioned this, I don't think. I used to go on Poke Beach all the time, but these days I just don't really anymore. So for the uninitiated, here's the card. I like what I'm seeing. What do you got? Is that Duosion? Is that Clefairy or Cleffa? That looks like Clefairy, and then Darumaka. You got Mewtwo in the background. You got Dragapult, Dreepy. I like what I'm seeing. I like a bunch of cool, colorful looking Pokemon. Some fireworks going on in the background. You got Ho-Oh, Mewtwo. Am I gonna spec heavily on it? The biggest things with cards like these is like I like getting 400 of something. I like getting a lot of something. So it's like if I did have my eyes on it, the biggest thing that would like PCETBs. If I build a position, I want to build a position, and it just feels like which kind of fundamentally might mean it's like a good spec at a small scale if it's hard to get a lot of them, right? But I probably won't engage with it at all. Maybe someday I'll buy a collection that has one in it, but yeah, that's my thoughts. Are you going all in on it? Are you pursuing it? Are you adjacent to anywhere that you would have access to a lot of them?
No, I did not even know that was a thing. This is the first time hearing about it.
Me too.
I think it's a cool card though. I like it.
Agreed. Nate Midnight, cut to the chase. What are 5 cards we should buy to bet on the next Logan run? Max Risk YOLO. They're already going up a lot, but relative to other things, I think you can still make good arguments that they're cheap. If Shad is out there, Shad is going to love this. The Godly Shad, if you're in any Discords with him. I think he goes by a handful of different names. But if Shad is out there, he's going to love this. I think base first. I'm not talking don't spend $1 million that the Charizard might go for. But I think there's value in like PSA 8 and 9, like base first hollows. Mind you, talk versus walk. I'm not pumping bags. I own 0. I own 0 of these cards. I actually, for the past year, in all this boom that we're booming, I haven't owned a base first Charizard, which I just mentioned. Like I want to buy that PSA 5 that I graded originally. I haven't owned a PSA base first Charizard in like many months, maybe even towards a year. I don't know. I just flipped I bought for a percentage, sold for a higher percentage a PSA 9 Shadowless Charizard into instant rips. But yeah, I do feel like I want to get some base first, but I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna buy it in like 3 years. Right now, the next 6 months to a year is gonna be stupid and go crazy, and I kind of kick myself. Hindsight's easy. I kick myself for not having bought some, like bought a little position 6 months, a year ago, because those things were so cheap relative to some of the other stupid crap. $20,000 Black Label Burger Chews, Big Mac of Chews. When like, and I actually bought like short term, very quick momentum play. I talked about this in a video or in a live stream, but last year, very close proximity to when the Black Label Big Macachu was 20K. I bought a PSA 10 base first Venusaur for 20K, and I sold it a month later for $50,000. And that card might go to 100 in this next little mini boom, right? So I'm not going to buy it now in the next, and you might be able to buy it tomorrow, and 6 months from now it might double. But like I'm just not going to play that game. I think it's all crazy. I think there's a lot of dumb money that's going to be coming in, and I do from time to time make little speculative plays into that, but I'm not largely planning on doing it now. And that's very like not financial advice. Like I think that would be an interesting thing to look at, but I'm not doing it myself. Full disclosure.
Yeah, I was gonna take that a different direction. I was gonna say I like your first base. Because that is definitely popping off now. I was gonna say the first thing that came to my mind was the Cynreon. Even though that is, I don't like the card. I don't like that card whatsoever. But that card is super popular. There are a lot of people who really like that card. And now that we're with how much reprints we've gotten with Prismatic already, I think now might be the time if you want to start buying that card to start getting it. I can see that doing well. And then the other one would be the Charizard that just came out from Phantasmal. I don't know if I'd necessarily buy it right now since the set just came out, but I think that one will do. That one will do very well too.
And one thing that I should say, I don't really spec on cards that much, but this was part spec, part PC. PC Dan coming back. Oh, where'd I put it? I did recently buy one card that I lost. It's somewhere. I don't know where it went. Oh no, I put it back here. That's right. It's back here somewhere. Oh, it's behind Quaxley's fat head.
You're calling your favorite starter fat?
Well, it's like that extra goofy one with the extra fat head on it. I love this card. This is one of my favorite arts in the hobby. It's a Burned Tower prize card. This is not like an answer to your question, but this is like I bought this part spec, part PC, like because I just love the card. I will sell this card again someday in the next 10 years, maybe significantly sooner. But I just love that card. I love that artwork. I will say I'm not going to tell you what the cards are, but I don't do it often. There are certain cards that I'm targeting specifically, kind of with respect to this question, but kind of not too. I think there are some cards that are just drastically undervalued relative to other things in the hobby as we speak. And I'm going to spec on them a little bit. I might not end up getting any, but I'm going to try to. And if and when I get them, I'll talk about them, but I'm not going to talk about them now. So very rarely do I do it, but occasionally I do, and I'm very transparent, but I'm wise enough to, when I would actually affect the market on myself, I'm not going to talk about them. Yes, Timmy McGee, we are still live. We are booming. We're going to be live for about another 5 or 10 minutes, so if you have any final questions, feel free to hit us with them. But let's see. So we did that one. President Whale Cabal says, how about them Rangers? They sucked this year after the Winter Classic. They have been miserable after the Winter Classic. It is very frustrating. I've been watching more and more because like we're actually going to buy tickets soon to go to a game. We go every year for the past several. My dad and I and potentially a few other people. But the tickets are probably going to get a lot cheaper. I guess is the one pro of that. It is what it is. I'm eyeing. I don't know if there's anyone around New York City, but I'm eyeing March 31st, Tuesday night against the Devils. I've never watched them play the Devils, so I think that would be a good one. But their last 10 is like 2-8-2 or 2-6-2 or something. It's miserable. They've lost 8 of the last 10, 2 of them in overtime. So yeah, very rough. Nate Midnight says, hit my DMs, Dan. Hit my DMs. I think my DMs are easier to find. Hit my DMs.
He wants you to spill your plays.
Yeah. I don't know what that's with reference to, but
I'm assuming it's wondering what cards you're after.
Or it could just be that I said I'm going to be in New York City on March 31st.
No, this was before that. Because it was his question about what cards should we spec on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Not gonna spill the beans. Yeah, I think we're fully caught up. So anything to say in closing?
Look forward
that we didn't.
Can we announce next week or next episode?
Oh, should we do that one secret or should we can announce it now, I guess. As long as he doesn't bail on us.
He won't
bail on us.
That's going to be a good one. Next episode is going to be really, really good. Definitely one of the most anticipated guests that we've had in a very sorry for previous guests that we had recently, but I always enjoy having guests, but I am very excited to have this guest. I've got a lot of questions for him. Because I did not realize what was going on. So that'll be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. So Nick likes all of you, but Nick just likes this one way more than most of you for all our podcasts. We appreciate you. We just don't appreciate you as much as this next one.
And then I guess do we want to? Is your thing quick? I was gonna say before. Well, we won't leave Grimer in suspense. My thing was I wanted to tell Grimer that Grimer made me feel bad last night. My eBay Live business is officially dead. I'm quitting eBay Live. Because first off, Grimer absolutely destroyed me in viewership last night. He had like, I want to say he had before I started he had like 80 viewers, and then when I started he dropped down to 60, 70. And I was struggling to maintain 40, 50. I didn't see what his pricing looked like on cards he was selling. But my pricing was absolutely abysmal. I think I lost money on everything I sold last night. So yeah, I'm conceding to Grimer. Grimer wins.
I just summoned the group chat, so hopefully we'll see some names popping in. It is officially the beginning of the end of the old school Pokemon operation on eBay Live. We are taking him down. Verizon outage did happen, but I am superior. Yeah, my phone.
I heard about that.
My phone didn't work from like 3 p.m. till midnight almost. It was rough.
It didn't affect me at all. I have Verizon. But yeah, no, I didn't notice any of that.
Yeah,
but yeah, Grimer, I was kicking myself over there. You were absolutely destroying me.
The only thing I was going to mention to stoke the fire, to stoke the drama between the channels, this immense drama that we have, this immense conflict between our two channels, the group chat did say that you seem to have made a decent pivot in some of your recent live streams, maybe trialing out. We didn't invent it. The KetchumAllCollectibles crew of independent contractors didn't invent it. But I heard that you might be trialing a method that has been very successful. Have you pivoted any sales? What's the right way to say it? Any sales durations or formats of your auctions to mimic the exceedingly successful KetchumAllCollectibles crew?
Do you ever watch Fool Us with Penn and Teller?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you're talking. Basically, a magician comes on, does a trick, and then Penn and Teller try and guess how they did the trick in like code words, so the audience doesn't understand. You're talking like Penn and Teller over there. So first off, my rebuttal will be: I've been doing sudden death auctions.
So he knew.
Longer than you guys have been on there. But we did start an all sudden death stream. But again, I think I did my first two before you guys started. We do that about once a month. So yes, that is something that you guys stole from me.
So you're seeing how successful the high frequency of it is, and you are borrowing the idea to do it more frequently, potentially, is what I'll say.
Yes,
Kevin here saying sudden death is awesome, but yeah, I don't spend a whole lot of time. I spend most of my time with the nose to the grindstone. I'm sourcing always, so I don't spend much time in live streams. But I did see the group chat like, hey, Nick is copying us with these sudden deaths that he's doing lately. He seems to be taking a page out of our winning formula, our winning playbook that we've got going here.
And while he's in here, I'm sorry, Spat. I didn't mean to give you shit for not going live that night when you had a broken tooth. Yeah. That was funny. But then I felt bad.
I feel bad, but it's hilarious that you broke your tooth. Oh man, that's funny. Ketchum acquiring old school Pokemon. Heard it here first. Oh no. I mean, there could be terms that could be beneficial for both potentially. Who knows? It's funny. We've done business for so long, and I've talked with other people. I've talked with other people of like, how can we do business together? Is there anything we can do further together that would benefit both? And we've not really extensively had those talks. We've definitely done deals where we've bought or sold from each other, but we've never really talked about like a merger or anything like that at a high level. I think we just know like the way that we act, the way that we work, like it wouldn't work. It wouldn't be mutually beneficial to both of us. I don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got, I forgot about that entirely. We got the beef talked about between Ketchum and Old School. Do have a couple more questions that we'll take. We got Bierski, we got Chef, we got all the live streamers popping in.
And we got all of eBay Live in here.
And for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, maybe it's not public yet, but spoilers. I'm a paid follower of the Slabbed podcast. Mr. Bierski, late last night, they are fans of paywalls themselves. They give early access to their members. So I was like the first person to listen to the Bierski Slab podcast episode, and it was a good listen. So whenever it goes public, make sure you go in and give that a listen. Let's see. Is that my internet messing up?
No, I tried typing and I go in and out.
Okay.
That was me.
Yeah, Nick is the true first edition OG of eBay Live. So we are fully admitting that we are borrowing from his we're walking down the trails that he blazed. If that makes sense. Nick, haven't you ever dreamed of being an independent contractor?
That's what I was trying to respond to.
Oh
no, I'm good.
Okay, so we got a couple more questions. The Hobby Bin says, question, build a position in Bulbasaur stamped promo, EV174 from the SPC, or Victini 208. The only one I have semi-significant amounts are EV174. So I'm gonna go like talk versus walk. My walk is EV174.
So this is something I guess you're talking the 151 Bulbasaur, the Best Buy promo, I assume.
That's the thing. I don't even know.
I think you're talking about that one. That's the only one I can think of. I really like that card. It's got the 151, the most popular set of Scarlet and Violet. It's a Bulbasaur. It's stamped. I really like that card. But they do absolutely awful in the live streams. They do so bad, which doesn't make sense to me whatsoever, because normally stamp cards do well. But for whatever reason, that Bulbasaur does awful every time. So I personally would go the Bulbasaur. But if I'm talking practical, what does better in the streams? Easily the Eevee all day. And then Victini, that one does good, but I don't like that card necessarily. So I'm gonna go Eevee, then Bulbasaur, then Victini.
I'm going Eevee. Power Playback Collectibles says, if another boom happens from this golden block, do you think Modern gets even more scarce? Can't imagine those prices going up much more in the short term. It is all Fugazi, Fairy Dust. It's all made up. Like we could have a set release at $500 a box. Destined Rivals could go to $1,000 in the next 6 months. Do I think those things will happen? No, but like I've been wrong so far on Destined, right? It truly is all made up. I think people think that like just certain items have certain prices. Like fundamentally, this card is just this price, and that's like a thing that like arises out of some intrinsic thing, or it's all made up. It is all made up. I cannot say that more strongly. Anything can happen, and we have I have no clue.
I think it could happen. I think Modern could definitely go up further. It's hard to imagine right now, but like you said, anything's possible.
And then I think final question: what do you guys think about mid 2000s era hollows and reverse hollows, super low pops, just because no one cares, or maybe an opportunity there? They are expensive. I have bought some high end slabless recently, and some of these PSA 10, I didn't realize the reverse hollows were like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. I think I bought like a PSA 9 reverse hollow Dragonite and Rayquaza. they were above $1,000 a piece for just PSA 9 reverse hollows. I knew we were booming, but I didn't realize some of that stuff was booming that much. Because those are the things, like, I've never been a big fan of reverse hollows. I think the EX era reverse hollows did it best out of all of them, but like, they're the best of a bad thing. Like, I just don't like reverse hollows. Those are the best ones, but I still don't engage with them really. But yeah, those are already booming. So it's like everything comes down to supply demand. There's less of them because less were printed and less were graded and yada yada yada. Grading wasn't as ubiquitous then, but what does that mean for long-term price? And I'm not speculating in it. Like, I don't know, and I think there's a lot better things that I have more certainty in. So I'm gonna stick with sealed. I'm gonna stick with what I'm doing right now because I just don't care enough, don't know enough about those, and I don't think they're gonna beat what I'm after anyways.
Yeah, I agree. I think people will always like those, but it's better to, for me anyway, I think it's better to stick with what the masses prefer. Like I really like those, but I would never buy those because they don't do, for me anyway, in particular, I stick with stuff that does well in the streams. So those don't do well in streams. So I'm never looking for those. But yeah, so I like to stick with what the masses like.
Yep.
But you can definitely do well with the riches and the niches, as people say.
Yep. But yeah, with that, we are going to end. As always, we appreciate all of you being here. In this, our going on 5 years, so we're gonna be starting our 6th year in the next few episodes, which is just crazy to say. But yeah, we appreciate the dozens of you that are here with us. And we plan on being here for a long time. So make sure you hit like and subscribe if you haven't yet. But I think most of you have. And we will
smash that save seller button or subscribe button.
Yeah, we will catch you all in the next one with a very special guest. Thanks.
See you later.